get, doesn't it? So this Christmas, help a London breakfast show. I won't, because I actually don't give a toss. But you crackheads might.
Cypress Hill, Superstar, still to come. We've got such great bands as New Order, Ash, Nirvana, Radiohead. Song for the Lovers at about 2 o'clock is a beautiful song by Jimmy Webb,
Lovely,
Steve.
looking forward to it.
Now, it's Steve's birthday, it's XFM 104.9, he's 27.
Yes.
We're both a little bit hungover.
Yes.
Now, every link we've started hasn't really sort of...
It's not really come to fruition, if
No,
I'm being honest.
nothing's happened.
I mean, sometimes they're just all out, kind of, there's just blunders in them.
Yeah, or like this one, we've already run
run out of
aground.
steam.
Yeah, I think it might be a mixture of us, like we've been on this station for a little while, we're losing the will to live.
Bored.
But we're going to buck up our ideas.
Can I just ask a
I
quick
said
question?
buck up, by the way, just in
Can I
case.
ask a quick question though, because I mean,
listening to want to complain.
my birthday today, and therefore last night I went out, and that's my excuse for being a little bit tired and a little bit hungover.
Yeah.
What's your excuse? Because you didn't come out.
No, I know.
I mean, you conscious you had the show today. What were you doing? Staying at home, just drinking.
Yeah. Having a little couple. Me and Jane went
What time
to
did
say
you go to
goodbye
bed?
to someone about 1.
Well, that's stupid. What I'm saying is, no, I mean, it's your name all over the show. You know, I'm a nobody. I've got no reputation.
Yeah. Although you get a quid off in most clubs in Camden.
enough.
I think just drop. If anyone out there, if you're sort of like tall, sort of, I'll answer your birthday, but I'm just got to do a description. This is nothing nasty. It's pretty good. If you're sort of like a lanky sort of geek, and you know, you can do a Worsley accent, then maybe you can pretend to be Steve Merchant and get in quid off. Is that right?
That's fine,
Yeah.
Rick.
No, because some people would take that as a personal...
That's offensive.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So we were talking about... Should we play a record? Is that link too long already before
already
we
bored.
actually got to something?
I'm already bored.
Carl, we've got to get to something. We've got to do
Carl,
something.
why don't you contribute something? You've been silent.
Now that is scraping the bottom of the barrel.
really
Like,
is, isn't
we're in trouble. Oh no. Oh, we're failing. Who can we bring on that's surefire, always delivers,
Audio
snappy?
dynamite.
Yeah, Carl.
The big guns.
Come on, Carl.
I was just thinking, there is nobody else who looks like Steve.
He's done ya.
That's outrageous. Although, to be honest with you, that insult has resurrected things.
Yeah. Well done. Play a little tune, and then we're
Got a little bit of a sniffle as well, I think.
Yeah.
Cold or something probably coming on.
Bit late there, Carl. You should come in a bit earlier there. Swayed there.
What I like is the complete lack of professionalism on our part.
Yeah.
It's like we've got a bit of a headache, a little bit
Yeah.
tired, just, that's it then.
You can't fight that. You can't fight that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, as you well know, Rick, there are certain DJs on this station, you know, drunkards. There's at least 2 I know of who are smackheads.
Yeah.
And, you know, they still manage, they still manage to do a good show.
even the ones that aren't, that try their best, are rubbish.
That's true enough. I'm not saying we're still not the best.
Yeah.
And it's effortless for us, Rick.
I know,
you
yeah.
We're coming up with dynamite stuff here.
Yeah, I
You
know.
And we're not even, fighting on all cylinders.
XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant, a little
Hi.
bit hungover. We all are, but he can't really take it. He's a lad.
Like, wait, there is tickets to give away, Rick. I don't know if we should mention that.
What? Who is it for?
Joe Strummer
Oh yeah.
and his band, the Mescaleros, play Brixton Academy, we think, this evening. A little bit more information will probably be...
So go along just in case. If you say you're Steve Merchant, pound off.
Well, the doors are at 7 o'clock, and it's £17.50. Unless you've won the competition, Rick, I'm about to set, and you won yourself a pair of tickets. There is someone, right, in America celebrating a birthday today, okay?
Yeah. More than one.
Same
I
day,
think.
isn't it?
Yeah. No.
No, but there's a
Go on.
specific one I'm thinking of,
Go on.
right? His name, Rick, is Dwight Schultz. Okay?
Yeah.
If you know the answer, obviously don't give it away.
Yeah.
His name's Dwight Schultz. He's an actor.
Yeah.
He was particularly big in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he's also celebrating a birthday today.
You're gonna say what's his name?
I'm going to say, what character is he best known as? What TV character is he best known as? And you can win yourself some tickets for Joe Strum and the Mescaleros at the Brixton Academy.
Dwight Schultz.
American actor, TV character of the 80s, very famous.
Oh yeah. See, Christian's giving away a trip to Salem, Massachusetts.
That's bizarre, actually, because I was in America recently and I went to Salem, Massachusetts, and that's not a prize.
Isn't it?
Believe me, we were there, we were sort of obliged to go because we were at someone's birthday. It's rubbish.
Really?
I mean, that's a really poor trip. That's such a boring
He probably can't believe his luck. It's probably the biggest thing Christian's ever had to give away,
great thing about-
and you've just dissed it.
The great thing about Salem, Massachusetts is that
I don't think we're good for this station. I don't think we're selling this station like we should.
Well, it's its own fault, it shouldn't have hired us. I blame it,
Yeah, and paid us in advance.
Yeah.
They're lucky we turn up.
No, I went to Salem, Massachusetts, and this is the place that's famous from like Salem's Lot and the Salem witch hunts, famously.
Famous for all things Salem.
Salem.
Yeah, anything with Salem in the title,
But
that's what it's famous for.
the whole
Yeah.
place has gone mad over like witches and
Yeah.
anything. Basically, it's like there was the Salem witch hunts in like 17 something or other, or
Yeah.
16 something or other. So the whole place now is just full of like people dressed as witches.
Yeah.
And then it's like any supernatural stuff. So that I went in and it was amazing. It's quite
Like
expensive to go.
Glastonbury tent.
It was it's awful. Every single place there, every single shop is kind of horror related.
Yeah.
And I went to the Boris Karloff World of Terror.
Yeah,
Right, it's amazing. You went in there. Right? I don't know if Boris, the famous horror actor, has actually been involved, but you go in there, you walk in the door, you've got to put these 3D glasses on, right? And it's supposed to be this kind of chilling journey around this kind of like a sort of a crypt, you know. And you put these glasses on, and I couldn't tell. They were so poor, I couldn't tell what was supposed to be a 3D effect and what was actually three-dimensional.
Really?
In real, so I couldn't tell if like the floor was actually sloped or if it was just appeared to be.
Yeah.
Whether the wall was actually kind of knobbly or whether it was 3D. It was so much, and it literally took about 45 seconds to get through it. And it
Imagine
just came
that.
out blinking into the dark, into the light again. It was
So
rubbish.
so I just want to throw us over to Carl. So there's Steve Merchant with funny glasses on in this place horror, and he's walking round. Do you think he scared people, Carl? I've set this question out, haven't I? I've loaded the
I
question.
know the answer you're fishing for. Carl, do you just want to have a dig at me? Because it's coming up to 2 o'clock, and you've not really put a lot of effort in today, slagging me
I
off.
don't do it on purpose.
No, he doesn't do it on
Go
purpose.
for it.
He's just an honest northerner, and he can't lie. He's like George Washington, but without the wooden teeth.
Yeah, Salem. I didn't mean.
We've
to say-
lost it again, haven't we? You didn't mean to say
I
Salem.
didn't say Salem.
This is such bad
That was
radio.
just
This
the
is
word that was
really.
in the tip of my
I mean,
tongue.
genuinely, this is bad radio,
awful
isn't it?
radio.
Quick. Oh yeah, my mate went to one of those things in the West End where you walk around and it's aliens and they jump out at you. Right. And he was so scared when the alien jumped out. I mean, he ripped a bit of his face off. And
What, the
bloke-
alien's face off?
Yeah, it was foam, and the bloke went, "Don't do that, mate."
Brilliant. Well, in the Salem one, I was wandering around, and this was one guy that kept jumping out.
Yeah.
Because there was about 10 of us, I was at the back. I always missed him jumping out. So when I got round, I'd missed all the frights. It was
Oh
ludicrous.
no.
You'd at least you'd have thought he'd like jump out, then double round and jump out again. For
Yeah.
those people at the end of the
Everyone
queue.
might catch that? No, what
really,
do you know
no.
it we? All right, okay, move on.
Oh, if you want to win those tickets, 08700 800 1234. Dwight Schultz, who is he better known as?
Yeah, Basement Jack said, keeping it real. Where's your head at?
Where is your head at?
Yeah, I know what they're saying. They're saying, where's your head at?
Where is your head at?
Yeah, XFM 104.9.
Look at your face.
Now,
Just one thing I would say, Rick, is that I've spoken to a few people who've listened to the show, and a lot of people, this is the highlight of their week. It really is. No, a lot of bedbound people, and
yeah.
and we're not putting putting the effort in, are we? We're providing nothing.
We're trying, but it's just not coming out right. We're just
The words aren't coming out as when I say them in my mind, they're brilliant.
But it's sort of like getting old. Your mind. I still want to run upstairs and things, but I just the lift. I'd like to run upstairs. I just can't anymore. And I thought that today. The comedy's in there. The
There's
interesting
fun, there's
things
humour,
and
there's
it's all in the head, and it has to go via the mouth.
Yeah, that's the
and it's just not working for me. But it is your birthday, you're 27. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
We're talking about. Can I tell you one of the best presents I ever had? Without doubt, all I ever wanted was a go-kart. This is true. I was like sort of 5, 6, 7, and I eventually, for I wasn't sort of spoiled in the sense that I got pocket money, but I always got what I wanted at Christmas eventually, because working class mothers they'd get it out the catalogue and pay for it for the rest of the year. So I always got I had really as many presents as anyone else, and I got this go-kart. It was a little red go-kart, and it was a pedal one. And I'd run home from school, and I'd be in it, and I'd get up and down the garden for hours. I'd have to come in from a tea, and this was fantastic. And this went on for like weeks and weeks, and went through the summer. The next time, it was fantastic go-kart. I'd show off, and then one day I came home, and I went. It was always at the back of the shed, sort of up against the shed, and I went in. I couldn't see it, and so I went to the back door. My mum was sort of like washing up with her, and I went, "Where's my go-kart?" I thought I hadn't been nicked. She went, "Your dad swapped it."
Your dad swapped it.
Yeah. I went, "He what?" And I was going to be brave, and I went, "He what?" She went, "He swapped it for a wheelbarrow." And I could see she didn't approve of this, and she was thinking, "I'm going to tell him, and then I'm going to, have this out." And I went, "Right." She went, "It's your wheelbarrow." And I went to the back of the shed, and there was this wheelbarrow he swapped it with a bloke called Jimmy Dublin, who he worked
Jimmy
with.
Dublin.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he was a respectable member of the community.
He was fine. It was his lively. No, I think he was an Irish gentleman, and that's why
You
we called him. That's why I don't know what his real name was. And I think my dad must have been drunk, and he went, I want to get my son a go-kart. And my dad, well, my kid got one. He's probably had it for a year. He's probably bored with it.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll give you this wheelbarrow. And I went to this wheelbarrow, and it was caked in concrete. I could hardly lift it. I just nicked up a building site, obviously. And I'd be there for hours trying to push this wheelbarrow up and down the garden, right? And it was okay though, because I was going on holiday soon, and I 7 years running went to Bognor Regis, a place called Riverside, because some woman around the way had a caravan that we got free for a week, and it was great. Just wonderful. And I used to go there with my mum and my nan.
Oh, party time.
The age of 7 to sort of no, it was good because when you're a kid and you wake up in a strange place, it sort of seems weird. You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning hearing your gran pissing in an iron bucket, and you get disorientated. Anyway, and I went on holiday, and I met a little friend who was about my age. We both sort of like, right, and he'd hired a go-kart. He had this great go-kart, and he came round to my caravan, and I went, I've got a go-kart. And I remember my mum opening the window of the caravan and going, don't lie. And I went, I had a go-kart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to your father about the fact you swapped it?
No.
You never mentioned it to him?
No.
You still got that wheelbarrow?
I think so. I've grown into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can nearly lift it now. Yeah. But now I'm just too old to run up and down the garden with
now
it.
you get one of your several gardeners and use it all the time. Wow.
Oh, Dre there. Dr. Dre.
Of course.
Bad intentions. Well, it's do you want to give the winners of the competition?
The winners, yes, tickets for Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros playing at Brixton Academy this evening. We have some lucky winners. The question I set was, someone else famous is celebrating a birthday today.
Yeah.
I don't mean someone else famous like I'm famous and someone else who's
You
famous.
could probably get into the Monarch.
Well, pound off at least.
Yeah.
And I said, which actor, Dwight Schultz? No, I didn't. I said, which character did
Started
Dwight
off
Schultz
well,
play?
didn't it?
He started off so well. Which character did Dwight Schultz play? What made him famous in the 80s? He's
Yeah.
celebrating a birthday today. I don't know how old he is, probably in his 60s.
Not in his 60s.
The character who played, of course, was Howling Mad Murdoch
Yeah.
from the 18...
We did accept Murdoch.
I was watching an 18-1 UK Gold the other day because I always like to have something, so that I can talk to Camfield whenever I meet him.
Yeah.
And the thing about Howling Mad Murdoch is his madness is one of those convenient kind of madnesses where he's not like kind of depressive, where he's trying to kill himself, or he's just schizophrenic, or he's unreliable. He's just a bit eccentric.
Yeah.
His madness is largely, I'll do some funny voices.
You couldn't have howling slightly off the wall Murdoch,
No.
though, could you? It didn't have the edge.
But it's rubbish. It's rubbish madness.
Or howling wacky
Yeah,
Murdoch.
well, that's what he is. He's wacky.
Howling annoying student Murdoch, I think it should have been called.
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, the winners, Carl, I think you took some answers.
Tim and Neil.
Well done, Tim and Neil. Are they going together or are they
No.
No, two separate.
lucky people? Lucky people.
Yeah. I don't think your heart's in it anymore either, Carl.
I was alright today, but Steve's really dragged me down.
Well, let's.
Wait a minute, I just need to know why.
No, do you know,
Yeah.
people are being miserable around you?
Yeah.
I was full
Yeah.
of beans when I came in.
Yep.
Yeah, but you got to remember last week you were really miserable and that really wound me up.
Yeah, because he was having
So
to
it's
do
swings
stuff.
around,
Because he'd been let down and they were worried about
Yeah,
the
last
next
week you were in
show.
a terrible mood.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like
Between
you
the
were.
songs, I wasn't like going off and lying on the settee looking ill, talking in that voice.
Oh, he's done you again.
So just now, being quite friendly. Yeah,
Carl,
Steve.
have you ever tried to get into the Monarch for free? Because I'll be honest, mate, it's not going to happen for you. Come out with me, mate. You got to quid off. All right?
Oh.
When you can get in places in Camden for free.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's done you. Right, now it's time for Song for the Lovers. Now, this is one of my favourite songs of all time. You'll know this song better done by... That was nearly a sentence. Oh, come on, that was nearly a sentence. What's his name? Glenn Campbell. It's Galveston.
Oh, yeah.
This is the man who wrote it. This is the original. This is Jimmy Webb.
Oh, yeah.
With Galveston. From what I can work out, I think it's about a bloke who goes off to the Vietnam War and he's missing his bird. And I've brought it down, haven't I? I've brought it down a tone by saying bird.
It's a beautiful song.
It was irony.
Just play it.
Galveston. It's beautiful.
I still hear your sea winds blowing. I still see her dark eyes glowing. She was 21 when I left Galveston. Galveston, oh, Galveston, I still hear your sea waves crashing while I watch the cannon flashing, and I clean my gun and I dream of Galveston. I still see her standing by the water, standing there looking out to sea. Is she waiting there for me on the beach where we used to run? Galveston, oh, Galveston, I am so afraid of dying. Before I try the deep ship rocking, before I see your seabirds flying in the sun at Galveston, at Galveston, at Galveston.
Jimmy Webb with Galveston. Now, I know you enjoy
Love the work of
the
the Webb.
Webmeister.
A lot of people, of course, be familiar with his sons, the Webb brothers.
Yeah, very different, quite cool. I went to see him live and he was just so cool. Just like doing his songs and telling a little anecdote. It was just, he's fantastic. That's my song for lovers. Steve, what have you got for
well,
us?
no, I was just going to mention a couple of other gifts that my father got. Well, he got me once. I unwrapped once, having professed no interest ever in this particular artist, about as much interest as Winston Churchill. I once received, lucky me, the making of Thriller. It was a video behind the scenes on Thriller. from Michael
I know
Jackson.
what he thinks though.
But he said to me, he said-
Steve loves to dance.
No, he went, you love music and you
Yeah.
love films.
Yeah, no, that's a film, yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, I've never professed any interest. I mean, I don't think it even had Thriller, the actual film on it. It was just the making of Thriller.
Really?
Behind the scenes, Michael Jackson dancing around.
And John
saying-
Landis.
Yeah, it was rubbish.
Oh, that's not
Blunt.
very nice, is it? But what did you say when you opened it? Brilliant.
Brilliant. I love Jackson. Can't wait to watch this. Can we watch it now, I said?
What did he say?
He's so ungrateful, really.
Yeah,
Because I can't remember a time my dad bought me anything. It's always my mum who bought it, and my dad would give her the money.
yeah.
You got Ricky who's lost his go-kart. You've had a video bought for you, and you're still not happy. I just think you're selfish.
It's not so much that I appreciate the fact that there is a gift. I think it's the fact that the gifts are arbitrary and can be bought in the shop that's opposite the place he works.
Tell Carl about what you got your
Yeah.
mum for this.
Well,
Listen to this, Carl. You'll
is
love
example
this.
like that. It's the thought that counts, right? So I suppose if you say that the thought that counts is the fact that he went and got anything at all, that counts. Okay, fair enough. But he phoned me up. He said, "What shall I get your mother?" Right? It's her 20th wedding anniversary, right? What shall I get her? I said, well, I'll tell you this. This is a great idea I'd heard from somewhere else. Why not get her pay for her to have a makeover, and all the sort of treatment, and the beauty treatment and that. She'll love that, then take her out, give her a meal and stuff. He went, okay. So he hangs up. I speak to him on the day of my mum's birthday. I say, what'd you get? He said, I got something. I said, do you go for the makeover idea? He went, not exactly. I went, what'd you do? He went, I bought her a trowel. A trowel. I went, a trowel? He went, yeah, for the garden. I went, it's a trowel. you've been married 20 years and you got a trowel. He went, it's stainless steel. I said to him, it's a trowel, Dad. And he went, do you think I should have got it engraved? It is mental. And I went down to see them, right? And I went in the lounge and literally, imagine it, like it wasn't this, but imagine, I got in there, he'd bought this trowel, right? And he'd also bought her an industrial-sized tin of coffee. You know those ones, those big size ones you have in like
Did he
hotels?
say she loves coffee, Steve?
She loves coffee, Steve, he
I
said.
love the fact that that's like the whole family news. It like she keeps that by her bed.
Yeah.
Like she's in Stalag
Yeah.
13 or something. This is my coffee.
But imagine walking into the lounge, right? She's there, she's got the presents that my sister's bought there. A trowel, just holding a trowel and a tin of coffee. And me walking in wondering, I wonder if there's anything sort of that she regrets in her life.
Oh, that's lovely. She loves coffee, Steve.
She loves coffee, Steve.
Oh.
She loves the garden.
Carl, what's the worst present you've ever had?
See, we don't really celebrate birthdays in our house, so...
What? Where are you from? Planet, are you? What do you mean you don't celebrate birthdays?
Are you here from another world observing? Like trying to blend in but not quite managing to pull it off?
Not that fussed about it.
Right.
I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Mum and Dad's are on the same day, and I think that just was like,
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
on their anniversary.
Well, they got married on their mutual birthday.
But Carl, can I just...
and Christmas.
But Carl, there's a difference between you saying...
What do you mean their
don't-
anniversary's on the same day? Of course it's on the same day.
Yeah, and the birthdays.
But Carl, what I mean is that, you say that you don't really celebrate your birthday, but presumably you have received some presents at some point in your life from your parents, or anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you later.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's play a record.
Carl, have a think about that, and we'll come back to you later. Thanks very much.
Ash and Sometimes, they've won me over.
They have indeed, yeah.
They've just got better. They've got to be the band they always wanted to be. I
I'd
think.
have written them off in the early days, but no. they're
Me
pretty
too,
great.
Steve. Just goes to show. Go on.
Carl, any thoughts on what gift you've perhaps once received that you can joke about now, or was tragic at the time? No? Not really put the thought in them.
Didn't have that many presents, so...
Always thankful for what you
I
got.
was grateful for.
Yeah.
Rick, would you love to hear from the listeners if maybe they've received some amusing gifts?
No.
No, I wouldn't.
So, what are you doing tonight? You're going out for a little meal with your parents?
Yeah, I thought you were coming.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Any suggestions as to where we could go? I mean, maybe people would like to phone in because I've got no idea. It's got to be largely meat-based. If I'm
Yeah.
only really meat.
Do you know the steakhouse near me? It's closed down.
Brilliant. That's one. There's lots more to go. Let's not stop there.
It just
people.
looked,
Come on.
I used to look across and think, is that a bingo hall?
I know. It's
Or
right.
somewhere to eat? Yeah, neon. There's at the back, had cocktails. And you know, just imagine.
Who's in there for a cocktail?
You know, imagine you going in there with a DJ sitting there. Hi. Be fantastic. Go on. Carl's got something to say.
Is there a chance that your dad's like on the way into London now and has heard you saying, oh,
Yeah.
you got me that, and he could be like nipping to a shop now to buy you a rake and thought,
Yeah, just think of that. Oh, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it? Or the making of the bends.
Yeah, he'll probably turn up and say, I was going to get you a gift, Steve, but then I got high. And we'll all laugh.
Yeah. Right, this link has run out of steam again.
Yes, but don't worry, because I can salvage it.
Go on.
Because it's time for Under the Covers. Cover me up. Oh, you got me
Between the
covered.
covers.
Between the covers. I like covers. Cover songs.
Yeah.
And
This was done by someone else.
and it was this week I'd like to play I mean we're all fans of Destiny's Child and we're all fans of the song Say My Name.
Yeah.
But have any of us heard the Scottish band Spare Snare doing their version of it? I suspect not. Let's hear it now. Spare Snare doing their version of Say My Name by Destiny's Child, Rick Nichols.
Do you remember Raw Sex that used to be in Spencer Saunders? Was Roller Yvonne? Yeah.
Is that basically what it's like?
It's a bit like that.
Do you think maybe the cover version section's running out of steam? If that's what we're playing.
I think we should only ever do sort of 6 weeks a year on radio.
Right.
And then, you know...
Yeah, people will kind of remember that. It'll be beautifully preserved in their memories.
Yeah. Like Benny Hill used to do one show a year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Imagine how awful it would be if you'd like do it every week for 2 hours. I don't think you'd have been so successful, to be honest, Steve. I think you'd run out of ideas.
Rick, I know that you are tired of coming in every Saturday and doing the show. I know I am, and I
Yeah.
suspect many of the listeners are. But maybe we should leave it to the listeners. You know, if they want us off the air, maybe they should just email facts. Phone in.
That'd be. I think everything should be like that though. Whether you want to, you know, like a binary sort, like you know, up against someone not so, like winner stays on in pool.
Yeah.
I hate that winner stays on in pool in pubs. Like, it's just horrible, fascist, isn't it? You want to play with your mates. You don't have to beat the bloke with 1-2 who just plays pool all day.
Yeah.
Costs him nothing, and he has 93 games. Of course, you're not going to beat him. He's a professional by the end of the evening.
Okay.
XFM 104.9.
Merry Christmas.
For Hero by Les Fleur. Great bloke, Les.
Yeah.
Worked with him in Blackpool. Weird. Had a very high voice. Can't grow a beard. But, yeah. I'm joshing. Probably pronounced Les Fleur, isn't it? Yeah. We know all that. We know all that. We know that.
You noticed all those huge posters advertising Christine O'Connell's breakfast show? They're all over the place now. They're mainly on the tube, like you wouldn't know today.
Right.
What with your driver and everything. Imagine if they'd spent the kind of money they must have spent on those advertising our show.
I know.
And those people were tuning in, and today's show is what they heard.
I was actually thinking, right, because we do care in a way. We couldn't get over it today, you know. Just a word to the kids. This is what alcohol can do to you. Yeah.
Sobering lesson.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I thought, what if this was our first ever attempt at radio? Think how gutted we'd be. We'd go, we're not
What
right.
worries me is it's like, I don't know, it's like in my sort of hangover state, it's like I've kind of woken from a dream, and I've sort of thought to myself, all the stuff we're saying today is what we normally say week in, week out, and we think it's brilliant. And it's today we've done it, and it's rubbish, and it's like we've seen the truth.
Oh yeah, it might be. See, yeah. So an alcohol can
It's just not as interesting or entertaining as we thought.
See, yours could be BSE as well, though, because I know
There's
you're
a lot
worried
of
about
that
that. Yeah, because you just ate beef, didn't you, for the first 15 years?
Largely just beef, yeah.
Beef and milk.
Mainly uncooked. It was just, you know, they just wheel a cow
Often
in.
from the cow.
Just suckle it from the cow.
Now we get complaints like that.
We would indeed. I always wondered if Bruno Brooks ever got complaints, actually. When he once played Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of,
Yeah.
and he must have dozed off or something because he didn't realise all the swearing, you know, F you, I won't do what you tell me, and he just left it playing.
He probably wasn't.
And it was
listening.
the UK Top 40, and it was just, you know...
He probably, yeah, of course, he probably did get complaints.
Good point, doing internet radio, which is, of course, where we'll be next week.
Yeah, if we buck our ideas up.
Quick question.
Go on.
I just realised who Carl looks like. Moby.
He does.
Not the first person to say
Yeah,
that.
I just suddenly just dawned on me then.
Yeah.
So if people
Moby's one of those people that I think is fantastic. Every time I see him, everything he says I agree with. Is lovely, and I just can't get into his music. It's bad. It's like I feel that it's like a mate, and you can't say, oh, I give it up, because I think he's fantastic, and I want to go. Why don't you do something else?
From all
I bored myself then.
If you've
This
got a pop star that you'd like Ricky Gervais to pass comment on, why not get into it?
Yeah, that's
Rick, what are your views
Go on.
on Rick Witter from Shed 7?
Rick Witter. I like their effort.
Okay.
I think he's quite he's got a nice hair.
What about Chakademus and Pliers?
What was their hit?
Tease me, tease me, tease me. Anyway, more of that next time, I'm sure.
Oh, that's it.
Are we straight to the song for the ladies now?
Yeah, song for ladies. Yeah,
Can we just get it over with?
let's knock this on the head.
Song for the ladies this week, one of the best tracks on Hour of the Bewilder Beast by Badly Drawn Boy. It's, of course, Magic in the Air for the ladies.
Bye. Sorry about that. We're going to really be good
Gonna
this
sing
week.
happy birthday, or?
Happy birthday to you. But no, we're going to start work on next week's show.
Really, from then on, it'll be year zero.
Yeah.
We left so much Yes, I just might try how she made me feel today. Feels right. We slept on leaves on my drive all night, and you gave me no resting. Nothing in this life for me tonight, but nothing ever seemed so bright. And if you should lose me, you will track me down again for somewhere else. 'Cause love is contagious when it's alright. Love is contagious. Love is contagious when it's alright. Love is contagious. News on XFM 104.9. It's today's show, isn't it?
With Steve Merchant.
Yeah, we're all here.
Oh,
I can't wait.
I can't believe it.
We've got some great stuff coming up, Steve.
What have we got
I'm being honest.
Go on.
There's some great tunes.
Yep.
We've got, there's too many to mention.
Don't mention them.
Well, there's about 20 actually.
Is there?
We could mention them.
Looking forward to them.
I've got a brand new feature. as
Okay.
well. You know, I was doing a film review,
Loving it.
and we do Run for the Covers and Song for the Lovers, and got a new feature.
Cool.
That film sounds good.
Right.
It's not the film review. It's a track from a film.
That's brilliant, Brit.
Yeah.
That's
That film sounds good.
Yeah.
Something like that.
People will be desperate to look forward to that.
And there'd just be some chat as well.
Might just be some nattering. Carl, have we got anything to give away this week?
No.
Ooh, it's a shame.
Yeah.
Quite like giving stuff away.
Yeah.
I feel quite powerful.
Does, in the week, is there any meetings like, what should we give, like, Ricky and Steve to give away? Because, I see lots of trailers for the breakfast show and that, Enterprise and that. Or do they go, who? It comes Saturdays. Saturdays? What? I don't work Saturdays. No, but they're still on the air Saturdays. Is it?
Who listens on a Saturday?
Yeah. Between 1 and 3. Oh, that's the worst time, isn't it?
They sort of hear you, taking the mickey out of what tickets you're given. And
Yeah.
I think this week you could have had St. Etienne, but they said no. We'll hold them back.
I love them being punished.
Yeah. I'll tell you what we're being punished for. We're being subversive and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Is that a crime, Rick? I don't think so. High five.
Fine.
You've got to hit the hand.
Yeah, I know,
otherwise
but
it sounds embarrassing.
You're a lot taller than me, aren't you?
Just hit high five. Yes.
Sweet. Rebel Motorcycle Club there in Love Burns, XFM 104.9. We're really swinging now.
We are.
So much better than last week.
Last week was a point. I don't want to talk about
Well, it wasn't too bad actually.
Was it?
Apparently. No. I said, we were really off then. Steve was hungover and I was tired and we couldn't be bothered. And they were going, no, it's as good as any other week. Which is pretty disappointing, isn't it? You want them to go, well, I'll tell you what, it was the worst one ever and it was still
It
brilliant.
was still magnificent.
As opposed to,
Yeah.
it was one of the best. But rubbish. Yeah. Good. So we're going to really...
Yeah, we're going to up the ante today.
Yeah.
Come on,
Ooh.
Carl. Cheer up.
Let's make this, Carl, let's make this the best show ever.
All right. Should we have a big group hug?
Yeah.
Oh, Carl, come on.
Let's have a big group lick.
Yeah. Carl, come on.
look at his little
look at
face.
his face. You can see why the ladies love him. He's a cute guy. No, you're a cute guy. And I'm not having a go. I genuinely think you are, so don't have a go back at me.
Oh, I've got some news for you, Steve.
Go on.
Where is it? Carl, where's that thing? Right, here. Company Magazine are compiling a 50 most eligible bachelors feature.
Ding dong.
The May issue 2002, right? These are the requirements, right? Single, right? That means available, not just unmarried. Age 20 to 30. You're well in there.
I'm straight in there.
C. D.
What was C?
C is it says good looking.
Fine, yeah, I'm eligible so far.
And it
Keep
says
going.
not. Oh no, this is what rules you out probably. It says not necessarily Brad Pitt-esque, and you are a little bit.
So they say.
Must be British and come from one of the following regions: London, Southeast, Southwest. You
That's
know.
me.
I think they just name all the regions of Britain.
Yes, they
Right.
could just say from Britain.
You ready? Employ. What? Sorry, Carl. Go on.
Is there a height restriction or anything like that?
Well, we're
So what is this? What, seriously, is this a serious thing? What is it?
It's the most eligible bachelor.
This is so me. Do you know any of the boys who'd be perfect for us company girls? Past bachelors have included TV presenters Dermot O'Leary.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in with Dermot O'Leary. He knows me. He's not
Yeah.
wrong, isn't he?
Yeah.
Jamie Theakston.
It's not most eligible person who knows a bachelor.
The models Rob Warrington and James Polanski.
Yeah.
The singers Lyndon David Hall and Richard Blackwood.
Yeah.
Wouldn't necessarily consider him a singer. But
Controversial.
I'm so.
He's having a dig at Blackwood.
Hey, I'll tell you this. I was watching.
on.
I don't suppose watch it, but I saw the trailer for The Farmer Wants a Wife.
Oh yeah.
Right, which is the show which you mentioned.
about
Yeah,
it?
you did. Which is a show where I think farmers, because obviously it's very difficult for them to meet women.
Wants a wife?
And I'm thinking, hello, idea. Steve Merchant wants a wife.
It's not bad.
It's a
is it?
TV show.
Who sounds a bit like a farmer.
Exactly.
This
But what I'm saying is, I don't mind the public voting for the woman. You know, if that's how it happens, I don't mind. You know, because who cares? You know,
Yeah.
I'll have anything, whatever they can choose. Be fine. You know,
See that? I think yeah.
Steve Merchant wants a farmer. That'd be even better.
Steve Merchant wants it.
Yeah, Steve Merchant wants it. I'm thinking, sort of maybe the Bravo channel on cable.
Yeah.
You know, or ITV2.
Yeah.
Hey, it's an idea, Rick. I'm just flying out the flagpole.
Yeah. Well, we'll think about that.
Yeah.
Don't phone in. It's not worth it. Let's play some more music. There is a Slim Shady in all of us. That was Eminem, XFM 104.9. Steve.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, because Carl, I'm probably thinking, you know, he likes to have a little dig every so often about, you know, my success with the ladies. No, Carl, but I'd tell you, you'd have been proud of me last night. No, listen, you'd have been proud of me. Because I was walking back from the shops, I was carrying 2 cans of weak lager. It was Friday night, Rick.
Yeah.
Time to go a bit crazy.
Yeah.
And there's this woman coming the other way, who must have been sort of 50, 55, just standing on the street, dressed in kind of like rhinestone cowboy style outfit. Really weird, never seen her before.
Parton. Was it
It
Parton?
wasn't Dolly.
No.
And she was just standing on the road like, just shouting, and some truck drove by. She just went, "Oi, come over here, come over here." And the car just drove by, whatever. And she walked into me, and she saw me coming, and she saw the beer in my hand. She couldn't believe her luck. And she stopped, and she tried to stop me. And I sort of stepped one way to try and go past her. She stepped there and blocked my way. So she blocked the other way. And she went, come here, like trying to motion. And I was really scared. It was
You
like some... it
You
was
looked
like some-
around and thought beggars can't be
well,
choosers.
but then for a minute I was thinking, well, you know, I mean, it's Friday night. You know, I'm in a mood to make whoopee. But I thought it's probably best to avoid it. And I actually managed to run away and avoid her. And she just kept shouting at me as I was running down the road, come with me, come with me. But I legged it. But what I was thinking is it was like some kind of like sort of Hansel and Gretel nightmare. Do you know what I mean? Like an old lady in your way.
You're going there and there's loads of other people that look just like you.
Exactly.
They're
yeah.
getting very, very thin.
We've been here for
in
years.
chains. Yeah.
But I thought you'd be proud of me. No, there was that was you know that was a woman on a plate,
So to speak.
and I just turned it down.
And yeah.
Exactly. You see,
You
So
went
not
you
so
went,
desperate.
He got in and went, what have I done?
Seeing her again tonight then.
well, I'm just gonna hang around by the offie, see what happens. You know,
Looking forward to Christmas?
loving it. I'm always a big fan of Christmas. Actually, and I'm not a bad humbug type.
It's not far now, is it? It's this month now. Is it?
Is it? Are we in
Is it
December?
the first?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
We
brilliant.
I was quite excited because this week I think it was this week in the papers, the Sun and I think all the other papers actually had the first of the kind of giveaway TV supplements that comes out
I
listing
love
all the
them.
shows that are on. But what about when they bring them out this early? Is you open it and it's like you think, yeah, I want to see what films are on and stuff, and you go through it, and it just about half of the listings are to be confirmed. To be confirmed. It's an utter waste of time.
Yeah.
And it's like, who is planning their film and TV watching this early? It's
Yeah.
a little bit early to be worrying about
3
it.
weeks in advance going, I better not make any... Well, unless it's like an amazing thing on telly. Or you know...
Are you coming to a party? We got one Friday 29th. I don't know, I'm going to watch something on the TV. There's a good film. What is it? Not been confirmed yet. but
It's
I'm
to
just-
be confirmed,
Yeah.
but I can just,
It'll
say
be
this, I
dynamite.
won't be at the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's strange.
But I remember when I was little, my sister used to work in W.H. Smith's, and she used to come home like every Thursday. She'd been paid, big bag of sweets for me.
Lovely.
and the TV Times.
The TV Times, of course, because you're
Yeah.
working class. Sort of.
TV Times.
The Radio Times for a classier middle class gentleman like myself.
But the bumper edition at Christmas, it's like 2 weeks of telly. You sit down like that Thursday night, sit down with Miss Sweet, and we tick off all the things we were going to watch over the
That's
next
really
2 years.
pleasure.
Didn't happen, did it? Because I was squeaking around, hyperactive, making people play with my toys, stuff, and not watching telly really.
I bet you, but if you watched any telly, it'd have been really rubbish stuff. The whole family was like, I imagine probably Dennis Norden's Laughter File, volume 12 or whatever it is.
I don't think even Dennis Norton was going there.
Whereas you see, we in our house, of course, we'd often we'd just switch off the TV and we'd just listen,
You weren't
to
allowed to.
Concerto on Radio 3.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to turn the telly off. Really.
I don't know what a concerto is. I've just said that word. I'm
I don't
assuming
know what a concerto is. It's like just a posh word for concert, isn't it?
I think so.
Is it? What's a concerto?
It's one of those. Maybe it's one of those instruments, the kind of squeeze box.
That's a
Concertina. It's a concertina.
Yeah.
My nan used to play a concertina.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if that's interesting to you. I don't know why you choose the concertina of all the instruments to play. I mean, it's not the sexiest. It's only kind of sailors.
My nan used to have one, but she doubled up as an iron lung,
Nice.
which was good. And so when she, when she had a bit of an attack, we not only were warned,
Yeah.
but we had little tunes.
That's beautiful.
as well. Yeah.
Can you play your gran?
You can play your grand, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Once she had a bit of an accident, she said, "Sit down, kids," and she came in there, and she had a corrugated neck.
Ah, of course.
Where it had gone horribly wrong. Go on.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
It's happening again, Steve.
What's happened?
It's going all wrong. We're talking rubbish.
Are we?
Yeah.
We should have played 2 in a row.
He's having a go, isn't he?
Blimey.
Gorillas, Rock the House,
Yep.
XFM 104.9.
Who are you?
Ricky Gervais, who are you?
Steve Merchant? Nice. Sweet.
Together again.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
The old team.
They said it'd never
Plus
happen.
Carl, he presses the
Yeah,
buttons.
let's not draw attention
Yeah.
to him.
Okay.
We were talking about squeeze boxes,
Yes.
and it got me to thinking, what's happened to them?
You don't see them.
Do you know what I mean? Instruments should be around forever. You know what I mean? The piano forte, as I
Oh,
call
it's a
it,
classic.
been around forever. They invented it. It's around. The saxophone was only, I think, the 20s or 30s. But I can't imagine it going away.
There's a number of instruments probably dying out.
Lute.
The lute you rarely see now.
You
which is
rarely
a
see,
crime.
except maybe on a Men Without Hats
What was Men with that hat?
or Marillion.
Right,
Men Without
yeah.
Hats. We can dance if we want to. And Pierre Trudeau's daughter was in that video.
Who was that we saw in a sandwich shop yesterday?
Well, he might not want us. He might want to be people to know that he was in a sandwich shop.
It's fine, it just shows that
He
he's
didn't
human.
recognize Bruce Dickinson. He didn't recognise him. I went, no.
Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden.
I had no
Little
idea.
fella,
who it was.
isn't he?
I'd say he's really tiny, it was almost laughable. Is he
It
married?
wasn't-
That'll annoy me. But
You've just alienated yourself from a lot of heavy metal fans now
Yeah.
because he's
Ooh,
pretty
I'm
much
scared.
of a guru.
they never leave their bedrooms, Rick.
But they've got powers. If they're putting crystals now on toads, and they're going to turn you into a.
All right.
Oh well, no.
Let's having a go.
I wasn't having a go. I stopped myself, realising it wasn't much of a threat.
Rick.
Right, go on.
What else is dying out? Pipes.
Pipes.
You never see people smoking pipes.
Why
Young
don't
people
you?
now are not smoking pipes.
No.
You see old people, you're right, but kids, you've got to start taking up pipes, otherwise they're going to die out. 'Cause
Yeah.
people of the older generation, they're going to die soon. I'm not smoking a pipe. I should
With
be.
pipes, though, was it like the fashion where when you smoked, you started, at a young age and then carried on, or did you just start at 50?
But no, because if you see like sort of shots of kind of sort of professorial types
Yeah.
from the 1930s at
Yeah.
when they're at Oxbridge,
Yeah.
they're always smoking pipes in a tweed jacket.
Yeah.
That was when they started, like university.
Yeah, but they still do.
Yeah, no, no,
Lots of things that should die out in the rest of the world carry on in Oxbridge
Yeah,
colleges.
but my point is that-
Voters.
All right. All I'm saying is that they're not even in Oxbridge now. They're not even smoking pipes.
I bet there is.
There's no
someone.
one smoking pipes.
I bet there is.
Right, I'd like to know if there's anyone listening who's under the age of 30 that smokes a pipe regularly, and I don't mean like a crack pipe.
And I guarantee they went to Oxford or Cambridge.
okay,
Yeah.
what's the number?
08700 800 1234.
What's the email?
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Pipes are dying out.
Yeah.
Snuff, that's as good as gone.
Yeah.
Snuff.
Yeah. Trilbies.
My friend always said if he won like loads of money on the lottery, he'd like to try really hard to try and bring back, as a fashion accessory, the cape.
Because
the capes are classy.
I quite like the cape.
The cape's brilliant because you can kind of mask your face with it,
Yeah.
Dracula-like.
You can have it off but still on, and on but still off. It's not
Exactly.
like a coat. You know what I mean? Where you drape it over your shoulders and that can fall down.
Carl, you're not a fan of the cape. You're turning your nose up at the cape. That's a madness.
No pockets.
Good point. You could have some kind of inner sort of smuggler's
If they
pocket,
did that about-
poacher's pocket. If they did that, I'd buy one.
Well, I'll tell you what. That sounds good.
It's That Sounds Good. It's just gone half-assed. It's the new
I
feature.
can't believe
That
it.
Sounds Good.
For a minute there, I was completely lost.
Yeah.
Remind me again, what's That Sounds
Wow.
Good?
I
no,
was-
hang on, it's That Film Sounds Good.
Oh yeah, that film sounds good. Right, this is my famous film review, which I've got coming up. Look forward to that. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's quite a delicate subject, but I think I deal with it sensitively.
Brilliant. Okay.
This is That Film Sounds Good.
Right.
And I've taken
Remind
the
us
film-
again what that is. What this?
Well,
feature is?
I'm going to pick a song from a film that's on from the soundtrack, right? I'm choosing a song from Jackie Brown.
Okay.
Great film.
Yeah, brilliant film.
And this is Across 110th Street by Bobby Womack. It's fantastic.
Wonderful song.
You'll only like this if you're really cool.
Yeah, if you're really cool, like say us.
Yeah.
I was the third brother of five, doing whatever I had to do to survive. I'm not saying what I did was alright. Trying to break out of the ghetto was a day-to-day fight. Down so long, getting up didn't cross my mind. But I knew there was a better way of life, and I was just trying to find. You don't know what you do till you put under pressure. Across 110th Street is a hell of a tester. Across 110th Street, pimps trying to catch a woman that's weak. Across 110th Street, pushers won't let the junkie go free. Across 110th Street, woman trying to catch a trick on the street. You take it. Across 110th Street, you can find it all in the street. I got one more thing I'd like to talk to y'all about right now. Hey brother, there's a better way out. Shorting that coke, shooting that dope, man, you're copping out. Take my advice, it's either live or die. You got to be strong if you wanna survive. The family on the upper side of town will catch hell without a ghetto around. In every city you'll find the same thing going down. Harlem is the capital of every ghetto town. Let me sing it. Across 110th Street, pimps trying to catch a woman that's weak. Across 110th Street, pushers won't let the junkie go free. Oh, across 110th Street, a woman trying to catch a trick on the street. Ooh, baby, across 110th Street, you can find it all. In the street, yes you can. Oh, look around you, look around you, look around you, look around you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bobby Womack, Across 110th Street. It's great, isn't it?
That's a lovely feature.
And that's the first feature. Ooh, that film sounds good.
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Brilliant, yeah. That's
I'm
excellent.
thinking of actually bringing out maybe a compilation of
I'd love to hear it.
Song for the Lovers.
What sort of things can we hear? Can we expect in the future? I know you're a big fan. This is brilliant. He bought the soundtrack to the film Braveheart, which is just kind of let me just explain. Which is just kind of big orchestrated numbers, right?
James
And
Horner.
as far as he's concerned, that's classical music. He's got a classical music CD in his collection. It's the music from Braveheart.
I sit there and I think, yeah, mate, I'd probably sort of lead my people's, you know.
He's obsessed with Braveheart. He actually sort of relates to William Wallace. He actually thinks, yeah, that's the sort of thing I'd be doing.
Yeah, it is. No.
What was it you were working out to the other day as well? He's got like a personal like gymnast or whatever it is. What's it called? Is it a gym expert? A trainer? You've got a personal...
I box with this bloke.
Yeah, he goes boxing in like some underpass somewhere. Right? Every day. Like every single day, he goes boxing, right? And what was it you were training... What did you tell me you were training to this week? What music did you have on?
Oh my God. I have actually... Now, I never did this, but I have actually gone red, haven't I?
Yes.
Right.
It's very hard to embarrass
I was working out and training and boxing. Oh my God. You're going to have to play a record after this. To the Rocky soundtrack.
To the Rocky soundtrack. He's bought, right, a CD which has got the best music from all of them. Now, was it Eye of the Tiger, or was it...
It starts up with Eye of the Tiger, then it goes, Hearts on Fire. That's me sort of very much. Then it goes, dun 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 dun.
Does any of your training, with your training, does it ever involve you running through snow with a log chained to your back, like in Rocky
and helping,
IV?
I often have to help Russian peasants because their cart horse is like falling over, but I lift it up. Whereas the other fella, he's training in a posh gym having injections. I'm not. I'm just like breaking rocks and punching dead cows.
Where'd you get that from?
It's handy, wasn't it?
Put it on.
What is it?
That's the
He can't hear because he's got. Put your headphones on.
What was it?
You'll love it. You'll love it.
Yeah.
That's magnificent.
Yeah.
That's now Ricky Gervais's theme tune.
Yeah.
Every time we start the show, we should just start with that.
Win, Ricky, win. U2, Walk On. I've got to give it to him. I hated U2 for about 15 years.
said it before, you said it
I know, but I love that one now. I just love that album. I can't put a foot wrong.
Do you ever listen to the whole album? Because I know you tend to buy albums just for the singles, when you could, of course, just buy the singles.
I know where he's going. I bought light funky ones.
Oh, I wanted to say that.
Yeah, I bought light funky ones because I...
The light funky ones. Do you remember the light funky ones? That was about like a year ago. What did they do? They did Girl in a Green Dress, Girl on TV.
And
that one that, summertime Abercrombie and Fitch, the girls are wearing up. Do you remember that? It's like a light sort of summer
listen,
nonsense.
I've got a lot of money. It's nothing to me, okay?
The light
I want a bit of light funky ones once. That's 15 quid. It's nothing to me.
You put the two singles on, right? Never listen to the rest of the album.
I never listened to the two singles again either.
The light funky ones.
Oh, it's just my street cred's gone down it. Rocky soundtrack and the light funky ones. You'd make two mistakes.
Right, let's not forget Braveheart, the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, it's a good film.
Rick, we were talking earlier about stuff.
True story about a little Australian freed the Scottish.
The stuff that's dying out that I think you and I single-handedly need to kind of resurrect and salvage. I thought the Trilby was dying out.
Yeah.
I suppose you, and yet, watching Top of the Pops last night, Jamiroquai was wearing one, and then lo and behold, Danny Minogue came on, she had one as well. I thought, blimey, those two people, they're trying to salvage the Trilby, and good luck to them.
Well, that's on its way then. Let them
the
do
Trilby's
that.
fine.
Let's do something else.
But the bowler hat...
Ah, the bowler hat.
Never see the bowler.
I fancy myself in a bowler
I
hat.
love a bowler hat. Carl, would you wear a bowler hat? I know you'd wear the cape.
I did wear a Trilby.
You wear a Trilby, really? You must have looked like a...
That's brilliant. What, because you're a Mancunian?
Well, there was a phase, wasn't there, in about 90... When was it?
I think that was just round your way.
It might have been. It was in Manchester.
Did someone get a job lot of Trilbys? And persuaded you kids? Yeah, I'll tell you what's trendy. No, Sean Ryder wears one of these. Does he? Yeah, go on. Yeah, quid. And then everyone in your street had Trilbys on.
But you've never worn a bowler?
Never.
What about Kangol bowler? You might think
one
about
out again.
I'll tell you what. I would like to wear a bowler hat, in a dark, but I'm worried I look like one of those little fellas off the Home Pride advert.
The Home Pride guys, they've been persevering with the bowler for years.
They still look good in it though,
They're still looking good, they're dapper guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, the Jolly Green Giant, he had quite a distinctive look, which is obviously what I've been thinking of exploiting.
What, the
Being
little,
like 6 foot 7.
I know, the little, sort of like a little dress.
Was it Corn Crocs? Corn Crocs that made out his little skirt.
Yeah.
What was the Jolly Green Giant so jolly about? He was very pleased. It can't just mean the sweet corn and the peas.
No, I reckon it was this enormous jolly green knob. I mean, he must have got up every day and gone, look at that. He must have been so happy.
The only thing that's like, in the case of the Jolly Green Giant, or like when Gulliver was a giant and he was in Lilliput and all the Lilliputians, they helped him out, they were feeding him and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're a giant like that in that situation, how do you sort of have a little sneaky tug, a little tug, a little J. Arthur Rank?
I don't know, because it's like...
It's very tricky to do that.
Because you're as big as their mountains,
exactly.
aren't you? You can't hide. They go, I mean, there's no...
All the little village probably just thought it was a tidal wave or something. Do you know what I mean?
That's pretty grim, though. I
Yeah.
mean, the tidal wave's pretty desperate.
I know.
It's how would he have gone to the mayor and said, I need a Kleenex the size of a
yeah.
tennis court
Yeah.
and a gigantic copy of the Daily Star.
No,
Yeah.
I never understood with Giants how they actually got that big in the first place, because what food was around to make them, because not only were they like big, but they were mostly big. They ate well.
They ate whole cows, probably.
When, Carl, you know,
It's not well documented, Carl. is it?
you know they don't actually exist. They never have. Okay.
Right, it's time for a feature, I think.
Carl, I've got. So there was a TV show I watched once on the History Channel. This is the History Channel.
Yeah.
It was the history of werewolves. Right, the history of werewolves, and the whole show is predicated on the fact that at the end we'll tell you if they ever existed or not.
Yeah, just waiting. And I go, oh, come on, we're going to be late. Hold on, he's going to tell us if they
Exactly.
existed or not.
Carl, werewolves?
Michael Aspel was in it, and Michael Aspel is a top broadcaster and therefore would not associate himself with something that did not exist.
Under the covers time, gents.
Under the
Cover
covers.
me
Run
up,
for
cover me
cover.
bad, run for cover. Here come the covers. Covers. I
This-
like cover songs.
This is a cover version.
Yes, this is from an album which is a bit hit and miss, as these things often are. It's different artists covering the songs of Leonard Cohen. You've got the
yeah.
Pixies on there, R.E.M., Nick Cave, different people. This, bizarrely, is Lloyd Cole, not someone I'm normally a fan of, but doing
I
a
like
version,
Lloyd Cole.
doing a version of the fantastic Leonard Cohen song Chelsea
Oh,
Hotel.
it's
Play it, Carl. It's
fantastic.
beautiful.
Remember you well in Chelsea Hotel. You're talking so loud and so sweet. You're giving me a hand on the unmade bed while the limousines wait in the street. And those were the reasons. That was New York. We were running for the money and the fame. That was called love for the workers in song, probably still is for those who've been left. And then you got away, now didn't you, babe? You just turned your back on the crowd. Yeah, you got away, I never once heard you say, I need you, I don't need you, I need you, I don't need you, and all of that jiving around. I remember you well in the Chelsea Hotel. You're famous, your heart was a legend. You told me again that you preferred a handsome man. For me you would make an exception, and clenching your fists for the ones like us who are oppressed by figures of beauty. Yeah, fixed yourself, you said, well, never mind, we are ugly, but we have the music. And then you got away, now didn't you, babe? You just turned your back on the crowd. Oh, you got away, I never once heard you say, I need you, I don't need you, baby, I need you, I don't need you, and all of that jiving around.
Cole doing his version of Chelsea Hotel.
Under the covers.
Under the Covers. I thought it was a beautiful version.
It's lovely.
You know that apparently
Really
I think
nice.
it's that song
Sweet.
written by Leonard Cohen originally, and I think it's about his brief romance with Nico, who made a name, of course, with the Velvet Underground, and was a tragic drugs victim. But it's interesting because I'm looking at this as a compilation called I'm Your Fan, which is cover songs of Leonard Cohen's music. And as I say, R.E.M., there's people on the Nick Cave who are still going. There's a couple of names you don't tend to hear of that often now. The House of Love.
Oh, yeah.
Rarely hear them, do you? That Petrol Emotion.
Oh, yeah.
That Petrol Emotion.
Yeah.
Who else we got on there? It says Robert Forster. Now, is he a musician or is it... Robert Forster, I don't know.
Well, if you know who Robert Forster is, I thought it was a writer.
The Lilac Time.
The Lilac Time.
They're on there as well.
You can't just say a name of a band and laugh.
You can if it's the Lilac Time.
Wow. We were.
Did I tell you before that my friend and I once listed words we thought should be rude, but aren't, like cassock, we always thought.
Yeah,
and
bollards.
Bollards. And he always pointed out the blow monkeys.
Yeah,
which I was.
That could be a very rude word, but isn't.
It isn't. Okay,
that could be a new feature, couldn't it? We're featured up, aren't we?
Aren't we? This is brilliant.
We've still got the film review to come. Song for Lovers is coming up in a few minutes.
Song for the ladies.
Yeah, Song for the ladies. What else
if I can squeeze in a hip hop track, I'd love to do it.
Yeah, that's called our hip hop track bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's just amazing.
Do we have a classic song, Rick?
What were you thinking of?
Oh, I don't know, maybe something by Nirvana?
Well, their biggest classic, you mean?
Ideally.
Smells Like Teen Spirit. It's going well, isn't it?
I'm enjoying it.
Well, I'm looking forward to Pop Idol.
Pop Idol? I've not been watching it.
You're joking?
No, I don't know what's happened, really. I've lost interest.
Oh, well, it is like most things, like the preliminary rounds.
Always
that's
much
when
more exciting.
all the real freaks and no-hopers, you know. But sometimes I watch those sort of things and I sort of laugh and I think, oh dear, I shouldn't be laughing at him because...
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
You're listening to Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington. Now, you probably know me from such works as The Office and Extras, Stephen being my co-writer and co-director on those things. For those people who are not so aware of Carl Pilkington, he was our producer, sort of given to us when we first started on XFM. And you're thinking, well, why are we doing a podcast? Why are we doing a podcast for no money?
Is there no money?
No. It's free, innit? It's free download. But this is what I'm here to answer. It's because I like to be in a room with Carl Pilkington. You know, like some people go and help sort of chimps.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, they go to the jungles and things.
And help out little sort of endangered
Diane
species.
Fossey or whatever.
Exactly.
You're very much the Diane Fossey of the Manchester scene.
Of the little bald mank world. And Carl Pilkington is an ongoing experiment for me because I've seen him blossom from an idiot into an imbecile. And I want to see it through. Look at the way he's looking at us through the glass. Look at that. He's got a perfectly round head. And that's why I'm doing this podcast, or bodcast, as I'm going to call it in his honour. Little round-headed bod-type freak.
If you're not familiar with Bod, we can maybe put up a picture of Bod, the popular cartoon kids character.
Go to rickygervais.com and you'll see a picture of Carl and a picture of Bod.
And you draw your own conclusions as to the likeness.
Carl, what do you think about all this?
It's alright.
Are you excited by this new technology?
What? Podcasts?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, I mean, we are living in that sort of era now, aren't we? Like, you need to listen to stuff on demand when you want it and stuff.
I know you're not a fan of the iPod in general, are you? Or any of the MP3 things, you're concerned?
I'm warm to it, but...
This is what's amazing about Carl. Even though he's talking about things like MP3 players, computers, iPods, he sounds like he was found in a glacier and thawed out. Do you know what I mean? And sort of taught to speak.
We're a couple of high school guys who found him and we're trying to ingratiate him in the gang, trying to pass him off with someone from the modern day.
No, but my thing with iPods is, now, do we need them? Do you know what I mean? We're living in that era now where we have invented most of the stuff that we need, and now we're just messing about.
They said that in 1900. Someone actually said everything that's to be invented has already been invented. They said that in 1900, and how wrong were they?
No, but what came out, at what point, what was invented in that year where they went, right, that's it now? What did they invent in 1900 that made them go, we've done it all now?
Well, just think a little bit, right? The 20th century. Think what happened in the 20th century.
Well,
cars, planes.
Yeah, but is that a good thing? Planes and that. Do you need a plane, really? Wouldn't it have been better if we all stuck where we should be instead of travelling about? War. Well, look, war's happening, isn't it? Because everyone's saying, well, now we can fly, we'll go over there.
So there were no wars prior to the invention of the aeroplane?
Not like there is today.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, the world's got smaller, hasn't it? Everyone's saying that, right?
Yeah.
The way I was saying to you the other day, we now go to places where we shouldn't go. People go on holiday to places where you've got to have an injection before you go there.
Yeah.
Forget it then. That's a warning. Don't go there.
I'm with you on that. I don't want to enter a country where I have to have an injection to stop me from dying while I'm in that country.
Right,
I totally agree with you on that.
So what happened is, they invented the plane and it's like, oh, let's go on holiday. And then they go, oh, to die now. Oh, well, you've got to invent let's invent an injection. And then it's like, right, well, what else do we need to go to that place? There's a lot of faffing. So what I'm saying is...
Is that a place? A lot of faffing?
What I'm saying is, Steve's travelled more than I have. You've been to, like, dangerous places.
I've been to places where you need injections, yeah.
Yeah, but why?
Because it's fascinating, isn't it? Do you not believe in that idea of travel broadens the mind? It makes you experience other ways of life, other ways of thinking. It just enriches you as a human being. That's the whole reason people go travelling.
Well, since the invention of the telly, you don't have to go that far to see it.
You're absolutely right.
So there you go then. The telly was the 20th century, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So where would you stop then? You'd stop making stuff now? Stop inventing stuff right now? Or do you think we could carry on for another 5 years, see what comes up, and then just go around?
Well, again, we're just messing about, and
there's still things to do, isn't there? I mean, I know I could throw things up. You can always go answer about it, but a cure for cancer, a cure for AIDS.
Yeah, but should we mess with that?
What do you mean?
Because there's too many people in the world as it is, isn't there? So that's a way of controlling it. So that like look at London, right? It's overpopulated. Rent keeps going up because there's more and more people surrounding. Right? You let them die, it's going to even itself out. See, I was saying to someone the other day about maybe we should look at, if we're going to invent something, right, forget like the traditional way of people having kids, right, the way they, have it away in that.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, like the way that, we have kids and stuff. If it'd be good if what happened was to control it, is if man and woman, right, they're born and that, they enjoy their life, they learn a lot, they live to be about 78, I think, by that point.
So specific.
Yeah, 78,
but by 78, I reckon you've sort of got to that point where you go, do you know what, I've done everything I'm going to do. If you haven't bungee jumped by the time you're 78, you're not going to do it. No. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like...
Your hips have come off.
You've done it all now, so I've had my innings.
Yeah.
And then you die, right? So, say if everyone had that, they live to be 78. But then, just as you die...
They give you the bumps.
You have a little baby inside you, and as you die, your life carries on.
Sorry,
how is this happening?
Sorry, are you mental?
No, but don't you think...
I mean, what? I've never heard such drivel.
You're saying that, but if Newton said it, you'd go, interesting. That's what annoys me.
The point is, Carl, he never would. He'd never say it, that's the point.
If you never say it,
I don't understand what you're talking about there. How was it? How is there a little baby in a 78-year-old?
No, what I'm saying is it's like an apple, where the apple grows and it's got its little baby pips in it, and the apple goes and the seeds are planted and a new one's born.
But that's what happens.
But that is what reproduction is.
Yeah, but I'm saying babies aren't being born left, right and centre. It's controlled, so that as someone dies, someone's born.
But Carl, stop. Whose responsibility is this?
If you don't want to do it, we won't do it. But
is it supposed to be nature? Has nature got to develop humans so that we act that way? We live that way, or is this a scientific experiment?
He said to you then. He said, "Look, if you don't want to do it, we don't need to do it. Yeah. Like if you were up for it, we'll sort it out. Yeah. We can do that.
We'll have a whip round." So we can do the research.
I just think, at the end of the day, we've got to do something. And is anyone keeping an eye on this and looking at what we can do next to control the population thing? It does my head in that I've got to live in London for work and what have you. And there's loads of people here. And, forget going out on a Saturday night, it's too busy. And you can't move, and they keep... I mean, what annoys me about London
So your solution is that 78-year-old women have little babies inside them, and as they slip away into death, the little babies. And how is that baby then
Who looks
raised?
after
Who
the
looks
baby?
after the baby?
Because it's a pretty good system having a baby while you're young enough to look after that baby and make sure it lives to, reproductive age itself.
I mean, that system's been working for years.
Nature's sort of sorted it out. Natural selection and evolution sort of makes that a good model.
But wait a minute, nature. Pop that on hold, because Carl Pilkington's got an idea.
Yeah.
That's what it was, just an idea.
Yeah, well, it was nonsense. But thank you for it.
The worst idea. I mean, it was the ramblings of someone you'd find by themselves in a hospital eating flies.
Yeah. This is the sort of thing you find when, if they find maybe a pamphlet or a booklet written by a psychopath. Someone, just before they went on a rampage and then turned the gun on themselves, they go through their possessions and they find a book and it's got weird drawings, women with knives in their face, and this kind of garbage.
In fact, I saw a similar sort of theory written out on a wall, but it was written in shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, all I'm saying is, I think it's, when people die normally, everyone's fed up about it, aren't they, and a bit down. But if when you pass away, you go, oh, we're going to miss Gladys or whatever, but then there's this new life brought in, it's almost like a bad news, good
but
news.
you're talking about it like someone could pick this idea up and run with it. Like you've given them enough information to do it. How is this possible? Where does she get the baby from? Why does it grow? Why grow it in Gladys's belly? Why not have it in a drawer? Ready to go, just add water. I mean...
Who looks after son of Gladys?
There is no theory here. It's the ramblings of a madman.
What I'm saying is, though, the body's always changing, innit? From caveman to now, or whatever.
In some cases.
And they're always finding out more and more. Like I read the other day about how they're saying, do you know, like they say, people have 6 senses.
Yeah.
There's loads more than that. Right, and there's this one.
I say, show me that you've got one.
No, right, and there's this one that's knocking about.
Go on.
That what it is. Say if I'm in a pub, right, and I'm just doing a crossword or whatever.
Unlikely, but go on.
And there's some woman who's walked in, right, and she's staring at me.
Yeah.
I know she's looking at me, and I look up and I look round, she's looking at me. Right. And they're saying that's a new sense that they found out from, like, doing tests and what have you.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
And they're saying that's been around since like man and dinosaur was knocking about.
But it could be peripheral vision. It could be a footstep stopped, and usually when someone's footsteps stop, they've stopped.
No, they've explained
I think it's safe to assume that that with your perfectly round head, people are always stopping and looking. But just know that there's probably going to be someone there if you look right.
They said it's from the time when, like, caveman was, like, wandering about, and he'd go, hang on a minute, and he'd look round, there's a dinosaur there, or whatever, and he'd leg it.
This is nonsense. I hate it when people use the term when caveman was wandering around. Caveman and dinosaurs, they used to live together, yeah. Oh, that's the same era. Yeah. What have you been watching? Raquel Welch?
What do you mean?
Well, what do you mean caveman wandering, knocking around with a dinosaur?
You know the Flintstones is only partly based on fact. Dinosaurs and man did not coexist. The dinosaurs had long gone before man arrived. Extinct. Kaput. You don't believe us?
Well, you don't believe because you've seen...
Because you saw that film where they took pictures of lizards and magnified them and put them next to men in films so they looked like they were fighting.
Yeah.
No, but why couldn't that have happened?
What is the film with Raquel Welch? A Million Years BC.
A Million Years BC or something.
A Million Years BC. Brilliant.
Yeah.
No, but...
She had a sort of woolly mammoth bikini. Fact.
But why wasn't the dinosaurs back then just like how we have dogs now, in a way?
He's watching the Flintstones. He's thinking of the Flintstones.
Yeah,
that's what he's thinking.
When he puts out the saber-toothed tiger.
And he mixes his concrete in a pelican.
I just think that there must have been a crossover point.
Why did you say that? Why do you think there must have been a crossover point?
Because if nothing was knocking about at any point, how did anything carry on?
I know. Exactly. Why didn't Hitler meet Nero? It's weird, isn't it? There must have been a crossover. They must have met somewhere. They must have met at a party somewhere.
They mixed in similar circles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, are you telling me that Ken Dodd has never met Genghis Khan? They must have bumped into... I can't believe it.
Forget it.
Oh, you're listening to Ricky Gervais with Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Coming up after the ads, Monkey News.
What ads?
No ads, no?
No, we're not. There's nothing here. There's no records. We just got to keep on talking.
Okay.
Which is not.
We could do our own ads.
Okay.
Ring tea for the Tillerman, steak for the sun. Out now to own on DVD. Ricky Gervais's and Steve Merchant's award-winning extras. With Ross Kemp. Oh, zippy. With Les Dennis. Put your arse away, Les. I don't really know. And Kate Winslet. Oh, this nun outfit makes me talk dirty. Out now on DVD. Extras.
Did you like Flannelwalls? The Ricky Gervais book for kids with pictures of made-up creatures in of different colours? Well, if you did, there's more of them now in the
More
new book, more
Flannelwalls.
Flannelwalls, which is also by Ricky Gervais, drawings by his mate. Out now.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
You're listening to Ricky Gervais with Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Well, now time for one of our regular features. Monkey News.
Do the jingle.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news.
Right, what we're doing here is just giving you a bit of monkey news that's gone on, right, where a monkey's been involved in it. Good little story in that.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the one that went into space? The first sort of thing they ever sent up there before man did it and all that. You see, this is what annoys me with it really. Armstrong gets all the glory, but do you know who went up there before him?
A monkey.
Yeah.
Dog went up first.
But what was the monkey called?
I don't know.
No, sure, okay. So it's not the most informed news bulletin.
The dog was called Laika.
Was it?
Yeah, they couldn't get it back there. They sent it up there, did a few tests and stuff, and they couldn't get it back. They weren't prepared to bring the capsule back yet. Brilliant. We could all do that.
So is that a good mission?
Well, I just think it was seeing what if the mission itself killed it, but they didn't have the technology, because of course it couldn't fly the capsule back, which it has to be manned to bring
Right.
it.
Well, this was the next one up then, right? So the dog must have gone first, and then we went right. We made an error there, right? Get the monkey in, and what happened is they taught it what buttons to hit at the time it needed to hit them, and the way they did this was like give it bananas. It was like hit the red button, and it hit the red button, they'd give it a banana.
Right.
And they go right, reverse is the green one, hit the green one, and then they do that and go there's a banana, and then they go right, hit reverse, and it go and get a banana. Hit the red, so it was taking commands on their headphones.
Right, but how were they
Is
giving
that
it the
how you
banana?
learn to do radio?
How were they giving it the banana?
What do you mean? No, this is before it went. You wouldn't just go and put a monkey in it and go, there you go, get on with it. They'd sort of put him in one of them capsules that you get.
Yeah.
And with on headphones.
I don't believe this happened.
Well, I'm telling you the story now. So the monkey
I don't
sat...
think they trained it to do anything. I think they sent it up there and he put electrodes coming out of it to see what
it wasn't any of that. They did a thing like they do,
Right.
like they can with animals. If you give something, like a treat, you can teach it how to do it. It's just like a dog, isn't it?
It's called Pavlovian conditioning. However, that was to see if it would salivate or go over to a particular corner, not if it could control a spacecraft.
Next one up. So next one up. As far as the monkey's not sat there going, oh, I'm a bit under pressure here, it's a rocket. All that's knowing is, I'm getting a banana if I hit that button. That's all the monkey's thinking about.
They wouldn't put billions of
whatever.
space
But
dollars.
how can they be sure that it's going to press the button at the right moment?
Because it's got headphones on. They're telling it. It's not
like
just,
you have now.
It's not like willy-nilly. It's not just like pop it in there and
Willy-nilly,
see-
who's that?
But what's to stop it from just hitting it any old time? Because it's a monkey and it's not a human.
Because he's trained now. But
Oh, it's
anyway,
trained.
so
It's fully
listen,
trained. Yeah.
So
Go
what
on.
happened is, anyway,
Oh, this is absolute rubbish.
they pop the monkey in there.
Yeah.
He's got his headphones on. They're going, right, hit the green one. And I think there's something there that a little banana comes out to keep the same...
No, you're making this up.
I'm not, it's the same...
There's no way that they made a
Right, so
spacecraft
they can-
that had a banana dispenser.
Right,
There's
so-
no way in this world that they made a spacecraft that could go into outer space, right?
So what- so you're-
manned
so
by a
you're-
monkey with a banana dispenser.
So you're saying that it's easy to send something up to space, but you don't believe there's a little banana machine?
Right, okay, so in your world, there's a monkey and it's been conditioned and there's a little monkey dispenser, monkey dispenser, a banana dispenser,
right? So it comes to the launch day, monkeys sat in there, everyone's ready, bananas are stocked up and all the rest of it. They go, right, hit the green button. Right, and the rocket goes off and what have you.
No, they would not make the monkey launch the rocket. Carl, you are living in a cartoon world.
So the rocket goes off, right?
This is absolute bollocks.
It's all going well.
I mean, I don't know
It's
where you're
all-
going to...
It's not going well.
It's going
There's
well.
no way a monkey launched
It's
a
going-
rocket. There is no way a monkey launched a rocket,
So
you
it's all
idiot.
going on. So they go and hit the left button, and it goes a
The
little bit left.
left button!
Right,
Oh,
so-
well-known spacecraft command. This is Houston. Hit the left button. Oh, brilliant. This is what happened in Apollo 13. Hit the left button.
So it,
You are... Oh,
it
you
goes
are-
left. Yeah, it goes left.
So it goes left, and it's going well.
Left! It goes left!
Yeah.
No, the moon.
So
You're
it
going
goes,
right.
It goes for the moon. Everything's going well.
Right.
They get up there. It does whatever it does. It reverse. It comes back. Right. So then.
You are, honestly, you are brain dead.
So it's
you are
land-
one of the most stupid people. That I would rather have the monkey drive me
listen.
home than you.
So the thing is, so it lands back.
Yeah.
It does a good job and everything. It gets out. And this
It's sick of bananas.
This is where it turns a bit sad, because after it done that mission, right? Because it happened and it was all safe and everything, the next one would have been to send man.
Right.
So the monkey enjoyed it, and it was like, well, I want to do it again, right? But they were like,
So how did they know that? How did they know he wanted to...
just the way it looked and what have you. It was like,
Fuck off! Just the way it looked!
So-
you are a maniac.
so the thing is though, right? So after it had done that, it was on such a high, right?
Yeah.
It could never get that high again.
Turn to drugs.
There was nothing that it could do.
Went on tour, did it?
It sort of ended up killing itself. Because it could never get that buzz that it
Right,
got.
that was absolute bollocks. None of that is true, except they sent a monkey into space. And I'll check that. Absolute drivel.
So in your mind, it committed suicide. It went on a crazy bender, drinking drugs and women. And
Like
then
it does happen, you
and
hear
then it was
about it.
found
you
in a
hear about
motel
it.
room.
Right, do you know, like, you don't believe in, like, scary stuff? Just like, you know, ghosts.
No, I believe in scary stuff. I don't believe
No,
in
well,
things
ghosts
that are totally
and that.
illogical. Yeah, ghosts.
Vampires?
No. Anything made up by man.
Well, there
Anything.
was something in the paper the other day about a vampire. They found one. They dug something up.
It was in the paper.
And,
Oh, it's true then.
It's definitely true.
But we'll leave
definitely
that. But we'll leave that because you're just going to do that, so it doesn't matter.
No, come on.
Come on, quickly, tell us about you
No,
found.
it's just that they found a body in a coffin
Yeah.
with a bit of wood through its heart and a knife in its mouth. But if you don't believe it,
It was a
then what's the
vampire
point?
pirate. It was a vampire pirate.
But that's definitely proof of a vampire then, and of course, and not some grotesque murder.
Yeah.
That's definitely proof of a
If
vampire.
it was found, if it wasn't made
Hang on a minute. Hang on a
Two, if
minute.
it
As
was
far as I'm aware, when you put the thing through their heart, they just turn into dust.
and also all their victims get their own life back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Right,
the
and here
truth.
was the second bit.
Yeah.
Somebody had dug it up,
Yeah.
got the heart, blended it, burnt it, popped it in some water, drank it, and they're in prison now. Now, if it wasn't dodgy stuff, why are they in prison? Why don't they
Because
just
they're
go-
mental, because they dug up a body, liquidised its heart, burnt it and drank it.
That's why they're in prison. There's your answer.
Right. But anyway, that isn't what I'm talking about, right? But I met Derek Acora the other week,
Oh yeah.
right?
Now, who's he? Which one's he?
He's
Is he a medium? He can contact the dead, is that right?
he just chats to him and that, passes
Sure.
messages on.
Nice of him.
So I said, oh, tell us something a bit weird and that. So he said, what do you want to know? I said, just something weird. So he goes, all right then. He said, here's one for you, right? And he said, there's this pub out in the country. And he said, there's this mug. Do you know those old mugs that they have? Where they used to like leave their own cup knocking
Like a
about, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Tankard thing.
Yeah.
So there was one of them mugs in there, right? And everybody...
Tankard, let's use tankard if we've
All right,
established
yeah,
that's the word.
tankard, yeah.
Because you're the only mug in this story.
Right,
You believe
so-
in it all.
High five. Great.
So this tankard's knocking about, right? And everyone who's running the pub keeps going, oh, I wish they'd stop leaving this tankard about, right? And they pick it up.
It must be a pain. Having a tiny, small tankard in a pub. That must be a real grind.
So every time they sort of picked it up and went, we'll have to wash that, and they popped it on a different sideboard. Next thing you know, that person who's touched it died, right?
Sure.
So
They must have been getting through bar staff.
they kept getting new staff and that. And they were like, oh, what's the connection here? Right?
What's the connection here?
Oh God.
So anyway,
Call Australia. We've run out.
So they sort of, someone notices and they go, you know, it's a bit weird. It's that cup, right? So they get
Tankard.
So it's that tankard and that. So they get a vicar in
Of course they do.
and they go, look, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. This tankard, every time someone touches it, they die. So he said, leave it with me. he gets his special water out and what have you. He comes round, does a little prayer, sprinkles it. He goes, right, not a problem, don't worry about it. He picks it up, chucks it in the bin. Guess what?
What?
Dies in a crash on the way home. Because he picked it up.
Well, but Carl, you're telling me this like it's fact, and I'm meant to go, that's amazing.
Cora, he told me.
Carl, I have no opinion of that story, other than I'm pretty sure there was absolutely no connection between touching the tankard and him dying. That's all I'm sure
It's
of.
not just him though, is it?
I'm not going to even contest the chain of events. All I'm saying is there is no connection. There is no connection possible, because I believe in logic and the laws of the universe. So when you're telling me miracles and strange things, you may as well be telling me about the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny, because they're equal to me. That it's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous.
So what would it take though for you to go, oh, I'm actually a believer now?
But what you're saying is I can't answer that question, because I'd have to base my beliefs on some of your premises, which I can't do. It's like you saying, but what if you found out that 2 and 2 equaled 5? I can't. It's a necessary truth that it doesn't. I'd have to go back and fundamentally disagree with what I think twoism is, two-ness and fiveness.
And you've never been in a situation though where you've gone, this room feels a bit weird. Could be something, do you know what I mean? Could be something knocking about, or.
But that's a different question. I could go into a really rough-looking pub and think, this isn't good, because it's based on induction then. Because
I mean, like, you know, if you've been to Cornwall on holiday and stayed somewhere and you've gone, do you know what? I'm sure so much died in here.
I'm sure so much died everywhere.
Yeah, but what I mean, you never pick up a vibe of. I've got a mate, right, who is living in this big stately home, right? And what
Why is he living there?
He's paying £100 a month, right? And it's almost like he's being a security man.
Oh, right.
But he's not. He doesn't sit out the door with that on and everything. He just goes about his life, but he bases most of his work in this stately home.
So what is it, like a
housekeeper, like he's sort of house sitting?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's massive. It's bigger than Buckingham Palace, this place, right?
So what is it, a billionaire that's gone away or something?
I think it's some sort of. I think he said something about a viscount or something, right? He said he owns this place. He's living in America. This place he owns, but it's falling to bits.
Wow.
And he's worried that people are going to go in there and squat and what have you. So he said to me, mate, you know, there was an advert in the paper, he doesn't know, an advert in the paper saying, do you want to live in a big house, 100 quid or whatever? And he went and had a look, right, and he's living in there now. He pays £100 a month. There's about 80 rooms. And it's this big stately house and what have you. And I went down there, he said, oh, come down and have a look, right? And from outside you go, oh, this is brilliant, it's like something out of, you know, like the Man of Born or something. You go, this is impressive. But then when you get in, it's like, it's a wreck.
It's just falling apart because they can't afford.
Well, it's just been left. No one's doing any vacuuming up or anything. There's like rat poison everywhere. Like windows are smashed, doors kicked in.
That's a real shame. Why is it? Is it?
I don't think he's doing his job, is he?
Is it because it would cost like millions to do up or something?
Apparently it'd be like, I think they're going to have it done up, but it's going to cost like 80 million, right? So anyway,
that's a big house.
That's a big house.
So we go to the pub and what have you. Got like a little torch, and we're wandering around looking in all these different rooms, right? And I'm asking him, how's it got in this state? Do you know what I mean? If someone's had it, why have they let it get to this state? And he was saying how, you know, it was like a mental home at one point, and it was like a drug thing as well. People who had problems with drugs, they popped them out there because it's in the middle of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? If you needed drugs or anything, forget it. It's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So that's straight away. Do you know, like, have you ever been in a hospital when it's been shut down, or a school when there's no kids in it, and there's that sort of bad atmosphere of like weirdness?
Yeah.
Right.
For the sake of argument, yeah.
So we're wandering about, and I say, oh yeah, what's in this room, right? And we go in, and all the floors are like a wreck and rotten and stuff. And I looked at the wall, and there was like a little piece of paper stuck on the wall, right? And I said, what's this here? So I wandered over, right? Got right up close to it, and somebody had roted.
Somebody had roted.
No.
Somebody had roted.
Imagine him on Jack and Ori. Right, okay. Right, go on,
So there's a little sign there, right? And I go up to it, and it says flies, right, with an arrow. Flies this way, right? I think that's a bit weird. So I follow the arrow, right, which goes to this corner where there's a shelf, about 3,000 dead flies on it.
Oh my God.
Condom stuck on the top. That's weird, isn't it?
That is weird.
That is weird. Right? So I'm looking at that, and there's loads of stuff on the floor and that, bits of paper. Picked up this bit of paper, right, and it had like in biro and that. It looked really old, like it'd been there years, and it had something like need nappies, dummy, right, blankets, blah blah, all this like old stuff for like, and I turned it over, right, and it said none of this now needed, baby dead.
Right.
Now that's weird, isn't it? Now that's what I'm talking about when you get a bad vibe. You go, that's who's been in here.
So I don't actually understand what point you're trying to make, Carl.
Just because who's written that? Who's been in that room? Who's been in that state? And then straight away your mind starts going, oh, I'm getting bad vibes in here.
But Carl, didn't you just tell us that this was once occupied by drug addicts and mentals, to use your word?
Yeah.
So haven't you put two and two together and thought that was probably who wrote it? That doesn't mean it's paranormal or ghostly. You walk into a building, it's a big, terrifying, empty house. It's terrifying in as much as it's cold and dark and drafty and a little bit spooky in this sort of illustrative sense.
And insecure.
Yeah, you're a bit nervous because it's got this sort of, it's got its bad vibe. It's just based on the fact that
your mate's in charge.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, yeah, so it's like saying, are we scared of the dark? Yes, I understand why people are scared of the dark. I'm a little bit scared of the dark. You're walking along.
Because you don't know what's in it.
Yeah, you don't know what's in the darkness. That's why people get nervous. It doesn't mean you have to make the leap then that you've got some paranormal sense. Oh my God, I'm Carl Pilkington, and hang on, just like Derek Acora, I have sensed something strange and evil in this room. Wait a minute, there's some flies in a condom. I was right all along.
That is weird.
Flies in a Johnny equals badness.
the flies in a condom was weird.
It's weird, I don't know.
But the note. I just think of his face when he saw that, reading it by torchlight. He must have been terrified.
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
Thank you very much indeed for listening. If you'd like to get in touch with us, either myself or Ricky, or you've got something to send to Carl, then you can email us at podcast@rickygervais.com.
I'd just like to say thank you to both The Guardian for sponsoring this and Positive Internet for hosting this podcast. Both great. The guys at Positive Internet know exactly what they're doing. They're my kind of people, as is The Guardian.
You weren't contractually obliged to say that, were you? It just sounded...
No, it's what I think. Just what I think.
Right. It's just I've not heard you mention either of them before in that way. It just sounded a little...
Oh, you're joking. I both love The Guardian and Positive Internet. Great guys.
Okay, that's just the way you feel, it's not...
Yeah.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited. The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hello, welcome to another podcast of The Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, hello, alright, and of course, Carl Pilkington.
Rick, you'll be pleased to know we've already had some responses. You remember last week I mentioned that you can email us on podcast@rickygervais.com if you've got anything for Carl or you or I. And Simon and Mark have already emailed us in this link to something that was on the BBC News website. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's a remarkable story. Well, I'll give you the headline straight away, and you can draw your own conclusion. Lion mutilates 42 midgets in Cambodian ring fight. That's just the headline.
That's a hell of a headline. That makes me want to know more about the story.
Well, that's what a headline should do. I mean, I think we'd all read the news. We'd all take more interest in the news if they could open the BBC News at 6 o'clock every night. Bong. Lion mutilates 42 midgets in Cambodian ring fight. Bong. We'd definitely pay more attention.
So this is the story. It's just extraordinary. Spectators cheered as entire Cambodian midget fighting league squared off against African lion.
Now, I didn't even know there was a Cambodian midget fighting league.
You're an ignoramus. Everyone, of course, has heard of the CMFL, which is genuinely what it's known as in Cambodia. Now, like you, I don't know who the Cambodian Midget Fighting League are normally fighting. I don't know what tournaments.
I assume it's each other.
Well, I assume each other.
It's midget fighting then.
Yeah. Well, let me just give you more information, then we can dissect it afterwards. Tickets had been sold out 3 weeks before the much-anticipated fight. The fight was organised when an angry fan contested Yang Shamoni, president of the CMFL, claiming that one lion could defeat his entire league of 42 fighters.
So this bloke is going to the president and going, I reckon a lion could get all your midgets.
I reckon he could. Yeah, he could destroy all of your 42 midget fighters. Now, apparently, Shamoni, the president of the CMFL, he takes great pride in the league, and he's conveyed in a recent advertising campaign that his midgets will take on anything, man, beast, or machine. Now, I don't know what kind of machine, again, midgets are fighting.
But don't the midgets have a say in
a
this?
Washing machine.
Don't the midgets going, all right, keep it down. No, they won't fight anything. Well, we won't fight anything. We're fighting each other. We're sort of like equally matched.
No, you'll fight a beast or a machine.
No. I'll fight another midget. I will fight any midget. Is what. When I said I'll take on anything, I meant another midget.
Machines.
So this bloke goes, I reckon a lion could take on your midgets. He goes, rubbish.
Yes. And that is why an African lion was shipped in especially for the event, which took place a couple of Saturdays ago, in the city's Colosseum. I mean, they've got a Colosseum, Rick, which is already brilliant.
So hold on, this is sanctioned by the city?
Well, the Cambodian government allowed the fight to take place under the condition that they receive a 50% commission on each ticket sold, and that no cameras will be allowed in the arena. We'll take 50%, but for dignity's sake, there's no cameras. We don't want to make this into a
spectacle.
Yeah.
No. It's just lion versus midget, but
exactly. Well, 42. Never forget, there was 42 midgets. Now, this is the tragedy element, and this is why we shouldn't be laughing, because the fight was ended.
Don't tell me the lion gets hurt.
Well, the fight was ended, Rick, after only 12 minutes, after which 28 of the midget fighters were declared dead.
Right.
While the other 14 suffered severe injuries, including broken bones, lost limbs, and they were basically unable to fight.
But the lion wasn't hurt?
It would have seemed that the lion was okay.
Oh, good. Because the lion had no choice in this.
No.
See, that's I love it when a human takes on a beast and comes unstuck, because that lion was scared and defending itself. Those little midgets were loving it. They wanted to go in.
What do you mean they were loving it? You don't know that.
Well, why would they do it?
Well, what I find out... Well, I'm worried, you see. I don't know the ins and outs of this. I wonder if they were fighting against their will. I got the horrible feeling, because with all due respect to any midgets listening, they must be fairly easy to round up. You could probably corral some midgets fairly easily. You only need some regular full-size people, and it'd be easy to grab some midgets and take them away, whisk them away, put them in a cage.
No, because because they don't. Because a lot of them stand on each other's shoulders and wear a long coat.
Sure,
and a hat, and you go, oh, that's not a midget.
No,
let him go.
Well, those ones are getting away with it. They're fine. They're wandering around, fine. Because who's voluntarily going to join the Cambodian Midget Fighting League?
But midgets who want a bit of action, who want to fight other midgets. They're allowed. They want to fight. They can't get in real boxing matches because the fellas are too big for them. But they can go, well, I'll tell you what, let's have our own little fighting league. Right?
But if I was on the Cambodian Midget Fighting League, I'd be livid. I'd be thinking to myself, well, I can't believe I listened to my agent and he's put me up fighting a lion. I mean, I should have just taken Panto in Grimsby. I can't believe what I've done.
I can't believe it. But hold on, though.
I thought
are they all really midgets, or are they lumping in dwarves with them?
It's not specified, Rick, but
that annoys me when people say, oh, look at these midgets, and I go, hold on, though, they're making up the numbers with a couple of dwarfs there. That's clear, and 3 dwarves.
Sure.
Well, that's amazing.
Carl, what are your thoughts instantly? I mean, you're bound to have a take on that.
Whose side am I meant to be on there?
What?
Well,
I'd be on the lion side. I'd never go to a bullfight, but I love it when I see a matador gored to death. Because, again, the bull doesn't want to get in that ring and fight a bloke with swords, okay? So I love it. I think it's disgusting. And when someone says a midget versus lion, I'm thinking, well, it's okay if the lion wins, to be honest, because they haven't got a choice. So, and I hate it when people go, oh, I went to a bullfight when I was in Spain, but it's the tradition, isn't it? Oh, well, there's loads of traditions that we don't adhere to anymore. So I say it shouldn't have happened, of course, but if it happens, I'm glad the lion isn't hurt.
See, what's annoying me is I've sent money to Cambodia because apparently they're hungry and haven't got any energy. So what's going on?
Well, it's much easier to fill up a midget than it is a regular Cambodian. You know, they're
I just
happy
feel
on
like
a Mars
I'm
bar.
being cheated a bit.
You were conned before with a charity, weren't you?
Well, a few times, yeah.
What about the old lady? What was that?
I got stopped, and it's like they sort of drag you in by saying, "Have you got a grant?" And I said, "No, they died." And that. It's like, "Oh, did they die of the cold?" "No, ill. What have you? Just old age." He said, "Well, what happens with a lot of people's grants is they die in the cold, right?" So I was like, "Oh, that's bad, isn't it?" Anyway, so she's chatting and she's showing me pictures of these old women who look cold, right? Saying, "Look at her, that's Edna. You know, she's got no family, she can't pay the bills and all that."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh yeah." Anyway, it goes on for about 15 minutes and you feel bad. You give them your bank details, right? And what happens is, every couple of months you get a letter from Edna. Well, it's not from her, it's typed up and what have you. But there's a picture of Edna, right? And it's saying, "Oh, this December, you know, Edna's going to be extra cold. It's cold outside, she can't afford to pay the heat and what have you."
Yeah.
Keep going, right? So you keep paying every month like £5 or whatever. Get another letter a few months later, right? Edna's sat there, she's got a tan.
What do you mean she's got a tan?
Well, when they said, you know, she's cold, I thought they meant for the heating, not to send her on holiday for a month. She sat there with a tan. I'm not joking.
Are you sure it wasn't just a sort of a slight problem in the printing?
No, definitely.
Sure, it
she
wasn't
looked well happy.
Sure, it wasn't liver failure.
This is a terrible thing to say, but when I see those people approaching now with the clipboards on the street,
Yeah.
I always get my mobile phone out and pretend to have a
I've done
conversation.
that one.
The number of fake conversations I've had walking past them now.
Well, I felt sorry for them, right? Because I thought, that, you know, to be fair, I've got about 10 standing orders where I
Yeah.
felt sorry for them in court, right? I thought they're doing a good deed, the least I can do. I find out they're on about £8 an hour.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're not just doing it out of the kindness of their heart.
Well, I don't want to
I thought they were
libel them.
volunteers. I thought that was at least why I should feel guilty. If they're
No.
getting paid to do it.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think they do.
What?
I've heard they get paid and that.
Well, if someone knows, maybe email
Email
us.
in
with it.
podcast at rickygervais.com is how you can get in touch with us.
'Cause
If
if
you know if these guys are getting fleecing us twice.
You know, I heard something. Carl thinks that. You think they're not.
I don't know
mate.
anything, but
No,
anything that will allow me
But
to
let's
not feel
find
guilty.
out, because you know, I don't want to slag them off, because they're obviously doing a good thing. So we find this out. It's, you know, this is an educational show.
I tell you what though, right? Because we've talked about homeless people before and that. And I walked past one the other day. He's always cheerful, right? But don't you think, right? If you had a company, it's worth taking them on because they never have a lie in.
Brilliant.
I'm finding it quite exhausting now because a lot of the homeless I've encountered recently, they're not even after my money. They're just looking for conversation. While I was walking along the other day, and I don't know what you're supposed to say to this. We were both walking, happened to be both passing a Chinese restaurant. He glanced in. He looked back around to me. He went, "Woman in there with 3 phones, 3 mobile phones. Why does she need 3 mobile phones?" Got nothing to say to that. Got no opinion. Got absolutely no opinion of it. And I was thinking, what's going to, you know, and you know that thing when you sort of suddenly you got across the road conveniently to just get out of it. But and there was another mad woman who started going. She was walking past me. She went, "Do you want to come to my church?" I went, "No, I don't believe in God." She went, "Do you believe in God?" Oh, 20 minutes conversation, 20 minutes. It was unbelievable. I got to a point where I was so angry with her, I was shouting out from across the other side of the room. I was the one who sounded like a nutter, going, "There isn't a God." But
you see, when does it become like bad to avoid people like that? Do you know what I mean? Because some people say you shouldn't. You know that they're people like us who've just had a bit of bad luck.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah, I know, but I remember one on our estate, right? And she was a bit. What's the word that you can use? Because I don't want to offend anyone. But I'd say but sort of mental homeless. Is that a term?
That's the official term.
I think that is the
new official term. It's mental homeless-itis.
Right. So she lived on the estate and what have you, and she aged.
How was she homeless if she lived on the estate?
Well, she sort of decided to stay around there because I think people on the estate spoke to her more than people who had money. Do you know what I mean?
Really? I was going to say, why would she choose an estate not to live in, as opposed to a walled sort of lovely community?
Yeah.
Why not go to St John's Wood or?
Yeah, or I'd hang around in maybe, say, the Maze in Hampton Court.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah.
No one's expecting to see a homeless person as they're trying to find their way around.
Well,
Imagine the cash you'd make during the summer.
The rich sort of Victorians used to keep sort of homeless in there as a little folly, and they used to pay them at the end if they stayed there for like 3 years.
What do you mean? Would they pay?
It was fashionable to have a little homeless little hobbit in your outhouse. Seriously.
And what did they have to do anything for the money? Run, dance,
no, they just had to
tigers?
be there. No, they had to be there when they brought around. They go, "Look, that's our little cat weasel fella living in our folly."
Yeah.
And then they got money, you know, at the end of it. There's just like really rich sort of Victorians and stuff.
That's
yeah.
a great idea. They should definitely bring that back. Because you see, I would give a lot more to shelter and those kind of charities if I could have a homeless guy come round and do my bidding. I could make him
and
dance.
they had really long beard and rags.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I could just make them do dances for me, or you know.
And he was somewhat magical, possibly. That
Yeah,
would
you
go,
weren't
riddle
too
me
sure.
dee, fiddle me do. What is my name and who are you?
Exactly.
And then yeah.
But anyway, so this mental
There's a little idea
homeless-
for shelter if anyone's listening. Yeah.
mental homeless woman on the estate, and what she used to do, right? She acted quite normal, and she used to always push like a pram around with her, right? And everyone was like, she can't have a kid, can she? Right? And she was dead happy every day. She was up and down, walking up and down the road. Anyway, one day she got to walk past, right? Turned round and looked in the pram. There's a bucket with a face on it.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Rick, we've had an email here from a bloke. I think you're going to respect him, because I think you can tell straight away from his name that he's the kind of guy you'd want to hang out with.
Go on.
I know how much you love fun people.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, and he's calling himself this, Paul the Party Animal Parker. He's emailed in. He's given himself that moniker.
Right, I assume they're in sort of like quote marks,
They're
are they?
in speech marks, yeah. Paul the
Brilliant.
Party Animal Parker.
And he's calling himself that.
Yeah.
That I can't wait.
So when you picture him, what are you thinking?
Millhouse.
Right, okay.
I think he looks like Millhouse from The Simpsons.
Yeah. He's working in sort of an IT department, maybe?
Yeah,
for a large
possibly.
organisation?
Oh, I think he might still be at school.
Okay, right, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And this is the vital question. Do you believe him to be a party animal?
I believe him to be a party animal is as much as a man with a long scarf that his mum knitted him to look like Doctor Who can be a party animal, yes.
Do you think that when people are organising parties at his school, they're thinking the first person they got to get on the list and make sure he's guaranteed
You've got to take Paul the
is
party animal.
Paul Parker.
Because I bet he's got millions of affectations. I bet he wants to be known as the one that carries around a biscuit tin.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the scarf.
He's the guy who only ever wears bowling shoes.
It's his thing. It's his thing.
He's a little bit kooky, it's his thing. But thank you very much indeed for your contribution. And it is fairly interesting what he sent in. He's found this on the web. I don't know why he's felt an affinity with this particular inventor. But anyway, there's a Serbian man, who has invented a sex machine for women. And he's appealing to Western women to test his device. He's from a town in, as I say, in Serbia. I guess Serbia? I guess that's right. Is that right?
Well, I don't know. What does it say?
Well, it says a Serbian man, but is it called Serbia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was all the Croatia-Serbia thing?
Well, it doesn't matter now, does it?
Okay. It doesn't matter now. It does to them. Otherwise they fought for nothing. What the hell do we know about world events? I mean, how long did that go on for? Months, wasn't it?
If they're inventing new countries, they can't expect me to keep up with current trends, can we?
Anyway, this Serbian man has invented a sex machine for women, and he can't find any Serbian women to try it out, so he's looking now for Western women. He's taken out a patent on the ultimate sex machine. It runs on a 390-volt electric engine, simulates sex, and has a 7.5-inch artificial penis. He said, "My sex machine has an artificial penis that can make up to 180 moves in a minute." Now, I don't even know what that means. 180 moves? What? I mean, there's only really...
Well, in and out,
It's
I
in and
imagine.
out. It's largely the function. Unless I've been doing it
what
wrong.
he's
All these
done.
months.
What he's done is he's put a dildo on a Black & Decker.
A man can only manage the intensity of movement for about 5 seconds normally, but this machine can do it for as long as the woman wants. But anyway, so he's looking for a woman who will test this out. But what I love, as soon as I read this, I was thinking, it's just imagining there going, "Oh, thanks for coming in. Yeah, okay." So there's what's going to happen is there's a penis that's going to pop out from here, and it's going to have sex with you. I'm going to stand behind the machine. I've got to stand behind here. There's a lot of dials and stuff. I don't want to bore you in.
Well, why do you have to stand behind it? Just
I can't. It's technical stuff. But I got to be behind the machine.
But there's no penis on the robot at the moment. It's just a hole.
No, don't worry. What will happen is I'll switch the machine on. I'll go behind, and then a penis will appear.
Will it be like a metal-looking penis?
It will be a robotic penis, but it will seem like it's a regular fleshy human penis.
So you're gonna So you're gonna go behind this robot,
Go behind the machine.
disappear,
Yep.
and then a fleshy-looking penis is
That
gonna
will appear
through the hole
when I switch the machine on.
Okay, and that'll be the real robotic penis.
But you won't see me for the duration of your sexual.
So you've made this sort of like robotic penis look really realistic.
It's really realistic. You will not be able to tell the difference between, say, the robot one and mine, for instance.
Okay, well I don't want to see yours.
No, there's absolutely not.
Because I've not come around here to have sex with a person.
I know, you come around to test the machine.
Yeah,
and that is exactly what you're going to get.
Okay,
Another
well,
piece of mechanical action. But what is the idea that on the front maybe he's painted a picture of a robot's face?
Yeah.
And then when the machine begins, rather like in one of those horror houses, like a kind of mansion in a spooky film, the eyes of the painting, they'll move. And
the real eyes
will appear, just staring out. But I don't think I can have sex with this machine unless you're actually in the room, just in case anything goes wrong.
No.
Don't worry, I'll be behind the machine, it'll all be fine. It'll be safe, not a problem.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, Paul the Party Animal Parker sent that in, and knowing him, there'll be plenty more coming like that in future weeks.
Carl, what do you think about that?
Machines and that.
Yeah.
Well, they've always been sort of. I mean, to a lot of people, sex is important. Isn't it? You know what I mean?
Not to you?
Well, it serves a purpose.
What purpose?
No.
Because you don't want to have kids, so what purpose?
Just
something to do in the evening.
Something to do, innit?
When the telly's broken.
But for years, like they've found stuff, haven't they? Machines from like Roman times to that setup.
No machines in Roman times.
Like that though, the old sort of knob on a stick machine thing.
The old Roman knob on a stick. I'm sorry, but I watch Time Team every week, and Tony Robinson has never done that. An old knob on a stick machine.
I just think of Julius Caesar sitting down and go, okay, aqueduct, we love that. Thanks for that. Straight roads, good idea. We can see the enemy coming. What have you got there?
Well, I'm glad you've asked.
Ploncticus. What have you got there? Wanklicus.
What I've got here is a Yieldy knob. And I've put that on the end of the stick.
Oh, stickus phallus. Okay, well done, Wanklicus. Well done. You are my new right-hand man, as they say.
No,
excellent.
But they do stuff like that. You've been in the London Museum and that, and they've got sort of sex stuff from years ago. They've got like these metal pants that they used to wear.
I don't know what that is.
Metal pants?
Yeah, sort of.
Is that a chastity belt, you mean? They used to make women wear them so that they
No, but they had them for blokes as well, though.
Metal pants for blokes.
Yeah,
Why?
So he had little lots. So if he was away, he could play away from home, and if he was away, she popped on a little.
No, I just think they sort of like sexy metal pants.
What? Oh, I don't know what you mean.
What
the
are you
sexy
talking
metal
about?
pants.
Well, we'll have to look because I haven't got it in front of me. It's just something I remember seeing, some sort of sexy metal pants that I used to wear.
But what are you saying? Sexy metal
Because
pants?
that was not British Museum, that was Soho.
No, what I mean
That was
is
on Compton Street. You were looking
they
in the
always
shop
had to
window.
be ready for like battle and that, but these were a little bit sexy but protective at the same time.
I love that.
I'll have to look
I
at
love
it.
the idea that that's all you remember from the British Museum.
So Lancelot, are you ready to face the Black Knight? Yeah. What do you think of these? Huh? What do you think of these? Well, I don't really care. Just
I just want to look good on the battlefield.
Well, they're both protective.
Will there be women watching, cheering us on?
Well, you're not going to fight like that, are you? What about your
I'm going to wear nothing except these sexy metal pants.
But what about your chest is exposed?
No, it's a good chest. I've been working out.
Yeah, I know. But what I mean is, you want metal all
I've
over.
actually been lifting up the round table every week. I just work out, do that about 4 times a day.
But that machine, right? Why did it have to be a woman, or could they have got a little gay fella in?
I
Let
don't
me
know.
just check. Doesn't actually specify the small print.
I love that. Why do you want to see a little gay fella be?
I don't want to see it. I'm just saying they're sort of more.
Carl, why do you want?
I don't wanna see it.
Why do you want to
I don't wanna
watch a
see
gay
it.
man get buggered by a robot?
I wasn't the one typing in gay machines on the internet, finding stuff out about.
It's not a
Steve
gay
was.
machine. You just made it into a gay machine.
Yeah, he wanted to pleasure women with this machine. You're saying, can I see a little gay fella get a robotic cock up his arse? You're the one requesting that, Carl
I don't want that.
Pilkington.
I'm just saying that.
You're the one that wants to see gay men with metal stuff up their anus.
What I'm saying is they're more up for a bit more experimentation than.
What are you saying? Why is that the case?
Why? Why'd you say that?
No, they just butt plugs and that. I mean, what I'm saying is.
What, you can't just say butt plugs and that.
I'm just saying that I reckon they'd be up for it.
What do you know about butt plugs?
I don't know anything about them. I just remember seeing an advert for some once in a sex shop.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I wasn't. I was just walking past. I was walking past the sex shop and that, and
Your eyes
sort of
glancing.
looking.
Why were you walking past a sex shop?
Just because I was on the way to work and that, and I passed one, and there was a little sort of one. It was open early, which I never understood. Right, it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. Right, and I
Who's
thought,
rushing out to
who's
butt plugs
rushing
that
out?
early in
Yeah,
the
who
morning,
needs them now? Right, but I
I
sort
must
of
get
had
a bagel and some poppers on the way to work.
I walked past it, and it had like a little post-it note or postcard type thing, and it was like, pop in now, buy an item, chuck in some free butt plugs. And I didn't know what they for. I'd never heard of them before. But all I'm saying is I've since found out what they do with them.
What
and
do
if
they
they
do
do that with them, then
Yeah.
give them a go on that.
I had another email here. This is they haven't given their name actually, but it's an interesting fact. I'm hoping it's true. America's first nudist organisation apparently was founded in 1929 by 3 men. Now, what intrigued me when I read that is the fact that it's clearly 3 blokes just trying to meet some nude women.
They're all 52 balding
Exactly.
with little so those gold rimmed glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just wandering around, and it's all quite saggy down there, and they're just knocking on doors saying, "We've just set up an organisation. It's perfectly above board, completely
Yeah.
legitimate. It's a nudist organisation. You got any women in there that want to come and join us? There's
Well,
no
not
any
really.
female members at the moment. Got any women in there interested in volleyball or trampoline?
I can't be doing with it, me.
You hate nudists, don't you?
Nudists. I don't understand what it's all about at the end of the day. And here's something, right? Do you know, like, when you're a bloke nudist, right? Do you ever get any who just have, like, a small knob?
I don't know. I don't understand the question.
What's that? What's your point?
Well, are there any blokes who are knocking about who just have a normal sized knob, or maybe a bit smaller than normal, who are happy wandering about showing off what they haven't got, if you know what I mean?
I don't think nudists are just doing it because they're so proud of their knob.
No, but there's got to be a little bit of that in it, isn't there? Say like Jonathan Ross, right? He's nipped to see you now and again and what have you.
He's what?
He sort of nipped in to see you now and again. He's always happy getting his knob out because he's known to have this big knob, right?
What
So
do you mean he's known?
showing it off.
Why is Jonathan Ross known to have this big knob?
No, he just talks about it a lot, doesn't he? He's always saying about, bet you'd like this, wouldn't you?
But that's like me. I'm known for being a great lover. I say it a lot. It's clearly not the case. What
Yeah,
evidence have you got that he's got a big?
No, but the difference is he's happy to keep getting it out. It's different, sort of me walking about going, I've got a big one and all that, and then but no one ever sees it. But Jonathan sort of he's always getting it out, isn't he?
Have you seen him get it out before?
I saw. Well, he did get it out, but I wasn't looking.
What do you mean you weren't looking? How do you know it was out?
Just because he sort of was moving it about and that, and I could sort of.
So
see.
you-
No, I wasn't looking though. It was that sort of thing where you can see something moving about, but you're like, I'm not looking at it.
What, like an owl seeing a mouse?
It
That,
just,
like...
what I mean, it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is.
So no, let's get back to this. You remembering vividly Jonathan Ross's penis?
No,
Yes.
I don't mean that. What
But
I mean,
why were you looking at his penis?
I wasn't looking though.
Well,
I'm
it was
just saying-
clearly not meant to be looked at.
I'm just saying, most blokes who, nudists, they must be pretty confident in themselves to, getting it out. And I wasn't looking. It's just that. I mean, I looked once.
Okay, what was it like?
What? Sorry, you looked at Jonathan's once.
No,
or-
I was looking at another one.
What?
At the same
why,
time?
No,
why
no.
are you looking at loads
No.
of men's
What's
penises?
going on?
Where are you
Because
What
it's
is
natural.
this?
It's natural. That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? This
As
is
a bloke.
Carl takes a sneaky look at
No.
menscocks.com.
No, what I'm saying is, it's natural.
What's this happening? You were in a gym.
No,
A lot of guys are getting changed, and you were just checking
you
out their knob.
were at your bedroom window with a pair of binoculars,
No.
and there was a little fella across the road
I
getting changed.
was at some night out once.
Go on.
So you were at heaven, and you were in the
It
toilet.
was some night out, and some people come running on the stage, right? Some music started coming on, and these 4 people ran out. It was 2 women.
So you were
2
at a gay
blokes.
strip club.
It wasn't gay in that. It was just a normal night out. Well, some sort of party night out.
Right.
These people come running on, right? You got 2 women. You got 2 blokes.
Right.
They whip the knickers off. The fellas whip their undies off.
At the same
Now-
time?
Yeah, all at the same time.
Was it like,
that,
was it like a choreographed thing?
like what's it?
Chippendales.
No, what like Cheryl Baker was in it. It was that thing where they sort of, on Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh, making your mind up.
Yeah.
When Bucks Fizz
Bucks
ripped
Fizz.
off a larger skirt, conceding a smaller skirt. At no point did Bucks Fizz whip their knickers and pants
When
off.
you said Cheryl Baker was in it, I was thinking, what? Didn't she used to host Record Breakers? I don't remember that on
So-
there.
so that-
Tea Time on BBC One.
So
Go
that
on.
happened, and all I'm saying is, right, before I had a look at the woman's bits, right, I just had a little cheeky glance at the fellas.
Why? Why?
Just checking it out, just seeing is everything normal down
Why
there.
weren't your eyes drawn instantly to the ladies' bits?
No, don't believe me. I had a look at that. All I'm saying
But you
is,
went to the guys first.
just I didn't know how long pants were going to be left off for.
So you didn't want to miss your opportunity, is what you're saying? You saw a window of opportunity to see some men's bits, and you thought, I better take it.
No,
because this may never happen again.
No,
So what happened? So there's 2 women, 2 men, right?
I don't know what sort of event this is where you're looking at anyone get their knickers and pants off. I don't know why you're looking at all. So you go right.